What up, everybody? Good morning and happy Wednesday. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios this morning. A big thanks for tuning in wherever, however you're tuning in. If it's on those radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available to stream online at sportstalk1051.com. Video streams are also up and rolling. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Don't forget, you can tell your Alexa devices to say, "Yo, Alexa, play a WAYY" as well. So, but a happy Wednesday, September 3rd. What do we have on our good old game plan for us this morning? Brewers back at it tonight after a much needed off day yesterday, where the Brewers had 19 games in 18 days. They got a nice little quick R&R yesterday. But right back at it tonight. Game 2 of this series against the Phillies. And Jose Quintana going to be on the mound for the Brewers. Aaron Nola is going to be on the mound for the Phillies. And Aaron Nola this year so far just 3-7 with over a 6 ERA. So maybe, hopefully, Brewers offense can take advantage of that. But we'll talk about this game. Look ahead to tonight's game. First pitch, by the way, 6:40, which, of course, you can catch on the radio dials of 105.1 FM and 790 AM. That lead is a little bit smaller, though, in the division with the Cubs picking up a victory last night over the Braves. So right now, the Brewers have a 5-game lead in the division. But again, remember, it's the tiebreaker kind of comes into play here. If it does come into play at the end and the Cubbies hold that tiebreaker. So we'll preview this game, take a look at it, and talk about game 2 here in probably just a little bit. So Brewers back at it as we start to wrap up this final month of the regular season. It's kind of playoff feel, doesn't it? Kind of has a little playoff feel right now. Nice little primer before we get to October. So, speaking of returning to the field, Packers will return to the practice field today. A little bit of a normal game week here in preparation for their opener against the Detroit Lions. So, we'll see if maybe Nate Hobbs, who seems like he's really close, if we go back to Monday's practice reports, Nate Hobbs getting closer and closer to returning and such. So we'll see if he's able to do anything on the field here, and kind of just fingers crossed that everybody else is going to be available and such, and that Green Bay will be pretty healthy heading into their opener on Sunday. But as we inch closer and closer to kickoff for this Packers season, I want to take a look at, the overall, obviously, in the last few days, under a week, ever since the Parsons trade and such, that has dominated the headlines, that has kind of changed the narrative a little bit surrounding the Packers and that. Odds makers have them going up. You got, national outlets right now that are coming out with their top teams or their early power rankings and predictions across the league and that, which we'll get to your predictions probably coming up tomorrow before the start of the NFL season tomorrow night between Dallas and Philadelphia. And remember, we got a game coming up Friday too. But nonetheless, it's kind of changed a lot of people's thoughts and predictions surrounding the Packers and that. But before we get to season predictions and such, I want to know if you had to come up with a top five list of the most, and let's keep it to the players for this, so just the players. But if you had to come up with a top 5 list of the most important Packers players for the overall success of this team this year, who do you think, is the most important players, again, just try to keep it to the players. Who are the most important players for the overall success of this Packers squad? So think about that and try to rank them too. All right, 1 through 5. So like 1, this dude's the most important. This guy, if this guy is missing time or he doesn't play well or anything like that, this is what's going to derail the season, or this is what's really going to affect the season. Or, on the flip side, it's like, okay, if this dude balls out, this is what's going to make the difference this year. So think about that for a little bit, for a hot minute, and give me your top 5. Your top 5 most important Packers players for the overall success for this season. Because I got to imagine there's probably plenty of you listening right now that do have fairly high expectations for this season, right? I mean, you've got some high expectations for the season. It's changed, right? So think about that. Let me know. Hit me up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line at 715-830-1912 with a quick text. Or you can hit us up on the video streams or on the socials as well. So we're going to get to that. We got some stock reports. So if you want to play along, whose stock is up? Whose stock is down? All right. So think about that. We'll get to that probably in the 8 o'clock hour here. But if you want to play along with us, you can. So we'll do that as well. And probably, whatever else is on our mind, right? Wherever the conversation takes us here this morning. So, all right. Plus, I want to add this to our Packer chat here. Okay, I want to add this a little bit. Give me a bold prediction for the Packers. Garrett, give me a bold prediction overall. Like just a really I want some really good bold predictions. Bold. Okay. Nothing like, Jordan Love's going to throw a 30 touchdown pass. That ain't bold. Sorry, but that ain't bold. I want some bold predictions. All right. Think outside the box here a little bit. Give me something good. Give me something that's like, oh yeah, that's spicy. That's a little hot right there. I like that. Coming up actually too in 15 minutes, we're going to be talking with Brian Wilchin from the Card Collecting Club, because it's their 3rd annual event coming up this Saturday at our good friends. We're at our good friends at the VFW Post 305, located at 1300 Star Avenue. But it's the 3rd annual Sports Card Kickoff for Kids, presented by the Card Collecting Club. So if you're not sure what the Card Collecting Club is, well, you're going to find out here in just a little bit. But an awesome organization to help out kiddos and get those cards and sports cards in their hands. Because a lot of us listening right now probably still do, maybe more so when we were younger. But we were card collectors and such. So it's a fantastic group that Brian has created. So we're going to talk about we're going to catch up with him, because he's a teacher and he's got to get to school today. First day of school, right? So he's going to be popping in a little bit earlier this morning and learning about that. So that's your game plan for us this morning. So start to hit me up with those thoughts. Okay, those texts. Who are the top 5 most important Packers for the overall success of the team this year? And give me some bold predictions and rank them. Rank them. All right, 1 through 5. Who is the most important? Number 1. That'd be number 1. Down to number 5. Obviously, 5 out of 53 is pretty good, pretty good top, why do I want to say this percentage-wise in that? But I'm curious to see who you think is the most important and see if there's a common theme amongst all Packers fans that are listening right now. Let's see if we have a majority for the number 1. If I had to make a prediction, it's probably not a bold prediction here, but it's probably going to be Jordan Love for a lot of people, and I get it, and then rightfully so. So I'm kind of curious, maybe more so 2 through 5 at this point. And then I want to talk a little Brewers, too, as we get set for Game 2 against the Phillies coming tonight. So let's pitter patter. Let's get at her, shall we? We'll take our first break. We'll talk a little green and gold before we get to Brian here. Coming up after these quick words. With the start of the football season getting officially underway tomorrow night, don't forget to log in to your picks at our website, sportstalk1051.com, and start to make your pro football weekly pick'ems. Go click on that fan cave tab after you hit up sportstalk1051.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see it there. Also, got the Survivor Challenge as well. So get those picks on in, because as we have seen over the last few years, one game can matter. Heck, tiebreakers can matter too. So let's have a little fun with this this year. So all right, we got a few messages coming on in already here. We've got Kevin on the YouTube stream. Welcome, Kevin, saying Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, Cooper, and Micah Parsons, his top five. I'm assuming that Kevin is your order. Good morning, Joe, over there too. On the texting line here, we got Mark in EC. I think we got a couple people now that go by Mark in EC. It says number 5, whoever plays left tackle, so Walker for now. Number 4, Nixon. Number 3, Parsons. Number 2, Jacobs. Number 1, Love. Bold prediction, Matthew Golden has a Pro Bowl season, kind of similar to C-Bomb's. C-Bomb has. Love, Parsons, Cooper, Jacobs, Reed. I'd say Rasheed Walker should be in the top 5, but if Love is upright and is number 1 on the list, that means Walker is doing his job already. Bold prediction, Matthew Golden will be Rookie of the Year and will make the Pro Bowl, Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I don't know if Mark and EC and C-Bomb are the same people, but seems like you guys got thinking kind of the same path here, especially when it's Rasheed Walker and Matthew Golden on that list. So my top 5, again, number 1 to me is Jordan Love, kind of pretty much what everybody is going, and we're keeping it player wise. So again, if you're just joining, we're keeping this player wise, not coaches, not general managers or anything like that. We're keeping it player wise. So number 1 for me is Jordan Love because, again, it's the quarterback. That's right. It's the quarterback. It's going to be on his shoulders to lead this team, to get this team to where they should be at, or where they want to go. Excuse me. It's up to the quarterback. Dude's got to go out there and ball this year in a pivotal year 3. Maybe pivotal might be a little dramatic, but I think, again, we're all looking maybe for a little bit of a bounce back type of year. So Jordan Love to me, number 1. I am going to put Micah Parsons at 2 just because of the amount that they traded for him. I mean, obviously you spent a lot, not just in a contract wise, but in bringing over, those picks and losing Kenny Clark, who you could say what you want about, his level of play for the last few years, but a well-respected player in that locker room and a leader within that locker room. So Micah Parsons, if this is a guy that can get to the quarterback like we all expect, get after him, continue, and it's kind of a trickle-down effect, I think, for Micah Parsons. That's why, to me, he is so important, not just because of what the Packers traded and gave up for, but if Micah Parsons is Micah Parsons, the trickle-down effect then is going to be, you would assume Rashawn Gary is going to have a good season. You would assume that the corners then are going to be having a little bit of an easier job on the back end, because if you're getting constant pressure on that quarterback from a Micah Parsons or a Rashawn Gary or such, it's going to have that trickle-down effect after that. So that, to me, is why I've got Micah Parsons at number 2, just because of the trickle-down effect of where he's at. For number 3 then, I mean, you could say the entire offensive line if you wanted to, but to follow my own rules, I would probably say at this point, Rasheed Walker. Left tackle is an incredibly important position. Assuming Rasheed Walker is the starter. I mean, you could say Rasheed Walker or Jordan Morgan at this point, but yes, left tackle, I'd put him on the priority list. I mean, we saw last year in the postseason, again, not to keep harping on this, but we saw in the postseason just how important it is for that left tackle or for an offensive lineman not to lose any of these starters. We saw it. The depth, I think, is still a question mark. Again, if we wanted to lump them up into one player, into one group, that'd be fine. But in this point, or in this case, I'm probably going to go Rasheed Walker. Zach Tom, I'm comfortable in. Elton Jenkins, I'm comfortable in, although I'm a little leery on some of his back issues and such. Aaron Banks, I don't know yet. Rasheed Walker, we've seen in the last couple of years play some quality football in that, but just because of the importance of the left tackle and the importance of Jordan Love staying healthy and having time in the pocket. Number 4, I'm going to go with Matthew Golden. I could have gone Jaden Reed. Could have gone Romeo Dobbs. Any receiver in this one. But I I'm going to go Matthew Golden because I think he has the potential to really develop into a really, really, really good wide receiver. I like the bold predictions from a few of you saying offensive rookie of the year for Matthew Golden. I like that. I think those are good ones. I don't think it's completely out of the realm either for Matthew Golden to be a offensive rookie of the year, but I just feel like this dude's going to be a playmaker. I'm a little concerned with Jaden Reed and that foot injury. Romeo Dobbs is a solid receiver, but I think he's a very good safety blanket, can make some plays and such. But Matthew Golden is a better athlete. He's got a bigger, a better, or a wider skill set than Romeo Dobbs. And I think Matthew Golden could be a pivotal part within this offense. And then number 5, I'm going to go with Edgerrin Cooper too. Actually, no, strike that. I'm gonna no offense to Edgerrin Cooper because I think he's incredibly important, but I'm gonna go with Devontae Wyatt. I'm gonna go with Devontae Wyatt because there is a question mark now about okay, no Kenny Clark, who's gonna step up in that role? You look at the depth chart. The depth chart was released yesterday. If we want to use the depth chart as the be all tell all, Colby Wooden is slotted in that spot. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple different things. I mean, Lucas Van Ness is probably going to be in that spot in obvious passing situations. But I think with no Kenny Clark, it puts the spotlight on Devontae Wyatt even more this year, especially when it comes to stopping the run. So it puts a little bit more importance on the play of Devontae Wyatt. And again, we have seen flashes from Devontae Wyatt. We've seen what he can do. It's just maybe a little bit of an injury, maybe some inconsistency thrown in there. But with the loss of Kenny Clark, and you look at the depth of the defensive tackle line or the defensive line, I'd put Devontae Wyatt up there. Honorable mentions, Edgerrin Cooper, Josh Jacobs. I feel like I'm a little bit more confident in Josh Jacobs being able to do what he does. That's not to take away in terms of how important he is, because he is incredibly important. But again, my 5, I would have to go Love. I'd have to go Parsons. I'd have to go Walker because of the left tackle position. I would have to go Golden, and I think I got to go Devontae Wyatt. Player-wise, if we added coaches on here, there's no question. I'd say, LaFleur's got a big argument to be in that top 5 because more specifically from the offensive game planning and scheming and play calling, and Hafley too. I mean, all right, you got a new toy in Micah Parsons. Now, how do you make it all work? How do you make it all work? Send those on over. Hit me up with a text or comment on the video stream, all right? I know we got to take a quick break here because we're going to bring in Mr. Brian Wilchin from the Card Collecting Club. And awesome events coming up here this weekend. So if you're not familiar with what the Card Collecting Club is, well, you're going to find out a little bit more. So let's take a really quick break, and then we'll bring in Brian coming up after these quick words. Coming up this Saturday at the VFW Post 305, our good friends Donna and company at VFW Post 305, in partnership with our guests coming up here, got a really cool events. The third year for the card collecting clubs events, and Mr. Brian Wilchin is joining us right before school starts here this morning, because he's one of our many fine educators in the area here. So. If you're not familiar with what the Card Collecting Club does, Brian has started this a few years ago. It's a fantastic nonprofit group for kiddos and that are in the hobby of card collecting, like a lot of us probably still are or were as kids. But it's the third annual sports card kickoff for kids, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Brian, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Doing great. Got the first day of school under my belt with the kids, so ready to roll.
You said 29 years?
Yeah, it's my 29th year of teaching.
Man, yeah. I did not. You don't look like it. So
that's surprising.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who's listening right now, tell us a little bit about what Card Collecting Club is. What kind of gave you the inspiration to start this club?
Yeah, you bet. Sadly, it was COVID. When students were allowed to come back to school, I knew that they were disconnected and they really were having a hard time reconnecting. And I'm like, what could bring kids together? And I thought about my childhood, and it's like I used to love to collect cards, and so I decided that I was going to create a club called the Card Collecting Club, and I put it out there to the students at South, and bam, right away there was 30 kids that signed up, and I'm like, wow. I did a post on social media, and all of a sudden I had all these teachers and all these people reaching out like, hey, what can you do for our school? What can you do? And I'm like, boy, that's just one of me. I don't know how much I can do. So I decided to become a nonprofit with the state of Wisconsin, and I was granted that 501c3 status. And so through that, I could accept donations to grow the club. And I went from running a club at South to having somebody run a club at DeLong to now getting cards to over 40 different schools around the Chippewa Valley and beyond. Like I have teachers in Minnesota now reaching out. It's grown tremendously. And the best part though is seeing these kids. These kids are just so excited, so happy. Kids that you'd never think would connect with each other are now best friends. You know, I've watched it all the way from 6th through 8th grade now with these students. And it's just something that I would have loved to have as a kid. If this would have been available for me, I would have signed up in a heartbeat. So it's just been great. And the best thing is we have such great community support here. You know, you among others have got a lot of great card shops in town that maybe we can talk about later. A lot of businesses. It's become a community thing where we're really supporting the kids out there. And the greatest thing is it's free. There's no cost to kids at all. Everything is free. So it doesn't matter if socioeconomic status or background. When kids come to the club at either the schools or the free events that I put on, they're going to walk away with a lot of cards.
They do walk away with a lot of cards, because I've gone to a couple or a few of your events too, especially this one coming up this weekend. And I mean, the kids, you get ready because you're going to be coming away with a lot of cards. And so maybe a lot of people ask, well, how do you get those cards? Where do those cards come from to get them in the hands of kiddos?
That's a great question. I have a lot of great card shops in town that'll donate. So Ultimate Authentics, Slab Factory, Spartans, trading card and sports cards that just opened up in Chippewa, Cooley Cards and Gaming. And then I have some breakers that donate, MPB Breaks, First Off the Line 101, Chippewa Rips. There's like 8 or 9 people. And then I've got individuals that are donating. So unfortunately, my life outside of school is spent sorting and making packs, and it's been keeping me busy.
I can tell if you follow Card Collected Club on Facebook, and you'll post some, Saturday mornings, you're kind of working or putting packs together. And I mean, just recently too, you've expanded even Pokemon, right? I mean, is that something you've had to kind of get to learn a little bit?
Yeah. My first year that I did the Card Collecting Club for sports cards, kids were like, what about Pokemon? I don't know anything about it, but last year kids were just asking me, and I'm like, well, there's obviously a need. And so I started a Pokemon club at school. And that thing immediately 30 people signed up. And so I've been learning slowly about Pokemon. Slab Factory, they've been awesome with helping me learn it. Cooley Cards and Gaming, same thing. They've actually come out and taught the kids a little bit. And so this year at South and at DeLong, we are going to host a Pokemon Club too for kids.
Nice.
And if I can clone myself, maybe I can do a Pokemon event outside of school. But right now I'm busy.
I can imagine. So tell us a little bit about the event coming up. It's the third annual, third time you've been doing this. If somebody's bringing their kiddo or kiddos, what can they expect to see when they go over to the VFW?
Yeah, great question. First of all, thanks once again to the VFW 305 at 1300 Star Avenue. Donna and the crew over there's been amazing. We start at 10. So if you show up at 10 o'clock, anywhere in between 10 and 1 o'clock, when you come in, we're going to have a registration table at the front. I'm going to hand your child a goodie bag. In the goodie bag is going to be a coupon for free ice cream from Culver's. And then I'm going to throw in a pack of cards of their favorite sport. Then I'm going to give them a scavenger hunt sheet. The scavenger hunt sheet, they're going to go around to all these different tables where we have all the card shops like Ultimate, Cooley, Slab, Spartan, TCG. And then we're going to have the Whatnot streamers. And each station that they go to, they're going to get more free stuff. So with the bag that I give them, it's going to be loaded. And then I'm going to have a table that's probably 2 tables big, but just free cards. And they can page through them, they can look through them. But then we have some really fun free events. We have one event called Putting for Patches. So they're going to use a putter and try to put it in the hole. If they get a hole in one, they win a jersey card. And then we're going to have Knockdown for Numbered. It's a bowling station where you have a little bowling ball, plastic pins, to knock it down to get a numbered card. But then the funnest one is the cornhole one, Aim for Autos. They get a cornhole, they win an autographed card. And so there's all those things going on. I've got drawings every half an hour where we're going to give away some full blaster boxes, some special prizes. For the adults out there, we do have a silent auction. We've had some businesses in town donate for the silent auction, and you can win some pretty cool memorabilia, some sports cards. So it's fun for kids of all ages.
Yes.
So even if you're an adult that still collects cards and want to show up and support the nonprofit, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, you've got an impressive list of sponsors on here too. I want to give you an opportunity to give them a shout out here too, because with that, I mean, this is awesome that they're helping support your club and your event too.
Yeah. Once again, the card shops, Ultimate Authentics, Slab Factory, Spartan Sports Cards and TCG, Cooley Cards and Gaming. We've got some Whatnot streamers. First off the line, 101 and Jed Hart. The guy's been amazing. And his son, Leo. We got Chippewa Rips. We got MPB Breaks. There's a new one, Stu's Cards and Comics is going to be there. And then businesses, we've got Shields, Northern Tap House, Princeton Valley, Toppers, Domino's, Culver's, Midwest Home Supply, Play It Again Sports. I'm hoping I didn't leave anybody out. And if I did, I apologize. But yeah, it's growing and growing and growing. And this year I'm expecting probably close to 150 or more kids.
And tell us, because I see you once in a while too, the drinks in the morning, the beverages. Is it Divine?
Oh yeah, Divine Nutrition.
Yeah.
My gosh, yeah. Heather over there has been amazing. She approached me. It's like, hey, what if we do a fundraiser for your club and every sports themed drink, proceeds go back towards your club? And so I'm like, sure. And so I've got a whole box of cards over there, and she said the cards have been going really good. And
that's
so
awesome.
They order a drink and they get a free pack of cards too.
That's awesome. And I know throughout the year too, especially in the summer, you're even busy too at Little League tournaments, because you got a little pop up where you're handing out packs to kids. I mean, I swear you're almost at every single tournament in Little League and such. But you're all over the place. I mean, you've done trivia nights for the kids. I mean, you dedicate a lot of time to this, dude.
Well, I saw what it did for me as a kid, and I'm seeing what it's doing for the kids today. And the biggest thing for me is those smiles and those connections. And when I can witness it firsthand, that's what I tell a lot of the people that donate. It's like, I wish you could see what I see. I'm seeing these kids form friendships. I'm seeing these kids bond. I'm seeing these kids, have a purpose of coming to school. Some of these kids' behaviors isn't good. Well, a lot of schools are using cards as behavior incentives. And I'm getting emails from all these teachers saying, Mr. Welch, that made a difference in this kid's life. He's doing great at school and he really works hard. And, that's the reason why I do it, is for the kids. And it's just a great thing.
So I got to ask, are you still, because it was a couple years ago, so I apologize if it's a little old news. Are you still Rashawn Gary collecting? There was a certain card you were collecting, right?
Yes, I am. And this year with that addition of Micah Parsons, it's kind of funny because there was a card that just came up on eBay that I was interested in, Rashawn Gary. And I got outbid, and the outbid was pretty high.
Yeah.
And so my Rashawn Gary collection at home, I'm hoping just keeps inching up. So
right,
yeah,
you got to be. I mean,
excited.
I think he's going to have a good year with Parsons coming over.
Micah gets double teamed. That's what was happening to Rashawn last year, and he was an All Pro. He got named an All Pro because of being double teamed and still getting 6 sacks. So
yeah. So before I let you go here, quick, just I don't know if you were listening earlier. You got your top 5 most important Packers.
Yeah, and I can't believe nobody said Brandon McManus, the kicker. When a game comes down in crunch time.
See, we take him for granted when we we overlook it when we actually have somebody that's decent.
And he's been lights out. Yeah. And I just knock on wood. I hope to goodness he can. But the rest of them I probably agree with. Jordan Love, he's your quarterback. He's the center of your team. Obviously, Mike has got to be a big one. If he has a blow up year, sky's the limit. I've been talking to the students. As soon as I found out about this, I'm like, this is a Reggie White trade right here. This could turn the whole franchise around. And
Mhm.
Mike is 5 years younger than when we signed Reggie.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. You know, and
Entering his
we've got him under
prime.
contract for that long. So
Yep.
could be huge. Edrin Cooper, that guy last year was amazing. If you got Mike and Gary coming on the sides and Edrin coming up the middle with Quay, I tell you, it's gonna be lights out. So
Yep.
yeah. Other than that, probably receivers, I would say Matthew Golden, he could be a game changer this year.
Mhm.
And then offensive line would probably be my fifth. The whole
Yeah.
line, it's got a block. So
Think, Brewers are gonna finish this thing off in first place?
yes,
Yeah?
100%.
You
Yeah,
were
they're
pretty confident when you were looking at me and
oh
said
yes,
that
yep,
too, so
no doubt. Their team is so different than last year.
Mhm.
In those games that were 3-1, I always thought they're not going to win. I turned the TV off. This year, it's like they can be down 5-0 and come back. So
Mhm.
it's just a fun team to watch.
Yep. Well, one more thing before we let you go here too, because I want to give you one more plug for the events. One thing we do though too is we try to honor people who for the love of the game, and we've honored a few people, and I can't think of another person who's better. It's so get a beverage on us. Thanks to Donna and VFW Post 305, but a little certificate. We got to get your picture and honor it here because of what you do for all the kiddos
Oh, that's
for the
amazing.
love of the game. We want to honor the people that do amazing things for the sports world, for kids especially, whether they're youth coaches, officials, or anything like that. And the amount of time that I've personally seen you dedicate to this club and helping out kiddos. I mean, I've seen you at little league tournaments. You've came to football games and such, something you don't have to do, but you do it out of the grace of your heart and the kindness of your heart and soul. What you do for the sports world is amazing. So, I mean, you are one of the first people to get one of those too. So big thanks for all you do for the kiddos and the sports world.
Dan, this award goes out to so many people that helped me. I couldn't do it without my brother, number one, Dave Wilch, and he's been amazing. And like I said before, all those businesses that have been supporting me, the club wouldn't exist without them. So, but I appreciate this. It means a lot. Thank you.
You got it. And again, this Saturday, VFW Post 305 starts at 10 o'clock and goes to 1. And it's seriously, bring the kiddos over there because they are going to come away. I remember last year we took Hudson, him and his buddy. We had to go over and get a soda so he could lay out all of his cards on his tables, and they were doing some trading already and stuff. They loved it. So you do a fantastic job, and a big thanks to everybody that helps you out there too. So
yep, thanks, Dan, and hope to see you guys all there. It's a free event.
Yep, exactly. All right, we got to take a quick break here to wrap up the first hour here. Stick around. We'll be back after these few words. Big thanks again to Brian from the Card Collected Club for stopping by and hanging out for a few minutes. Put it on the calendars this Saturday, September 6th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. VFW Post 305, located on 1300 Star Avenue. It's the third annual Sports Cards Kickoff for Kids. And I'm telling you, we went last year. Hutsy came home with a ton of free, awesome cards. Everybody that helps support the event and Brian and his team of volunteers doing an amazing, fantastic job. So, again, coming up this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. Your kids will come away with a load of cards and a lot of smiles on their faces. So, we've talked a little bit this morning with the green and gold. Give me your top 5 most important Packer players this season as we get closer and closer to kickoff for the season. We've got games starting tomorrow with Eagles taking on the Cowboys. Jeremy says, love whoever is the D tackle, Golden, Parsons, and the left tackle. So, yeah, it seems like everybody's got love as number one, which I kind of expected that would be the case. Left tackle, I'm actually a little surprised everybody's kind of put left tackle in there. I thought maybe that would be a position that some people would kind of forget a little bit about, but good to see. Because again, I think it is one of the most important, sometimes overlooked positions, but when you are struggling at that, it definitely gets exposed. So good to see a lot of people put left tackle on there. Matthew Golden is a very popular pick on here too for a rookie wide receiver. So are we coming in with some super high expectations for the kid? It's hard not to, though, when you keep hearing all these positive reports coming out of camp and what we see in preseason and such. So, but I get it. I mean, he made my top 5 for crying out loud. So, what else? Parsons, of course, is a very popular pick on there too. So, give me also a bold prediction. I got a couple bold predictions, and a very popular one again has been Matthew Golden winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. So, I have a couple more for those. Another bold prediction here has Tucker Kraft getting over 1,000 yards receiving. Ooh, Nelly, 1,000 yards receiving. Okay. All right. That I would classify as bold. That is definitely a bold prediction. So keep those coming. All right. Keep those coming. Hit me up on a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Or you can comment on the video streams or hit me up on the socials. Instagram, Dan Kasper Sports, Facebook.com/Dan Kasper Sports, X at Dan Kasper. All right. To round out the first hour before Morgs pops in, Brew Crew back at it tonight after a much-needed off day yesterday where they had 19 games in 18 days. Whew. Finally had a much-needed off day yesterday. Hopefully it does wonders for this team. Maybe just that one day. I know some people are like, yeah, one day, how much of a difference could it actually make? Probably makes a world of difference for a lot of those guys. But they pick up this series. It's a tough one going up against the Phillies. We've got Jose Quintana on the mound for the Brewers looking for his 11th win on the season. On the flip side, Aaron Nola is going for the Phillies. Nola so far this year, 3-7 with a 6.47 ERA. When you look at what he has done so far this season, probably not the numbers you expect. When you say the name Aaron Nola, you're probably like, really? Those are his numbers? Yeah, they are. But he also missed quite a bit of time so far this year. I mean, didn't pitch the entire months of June and July. August, finally came back on August 17th. And in 3 games, he is 2-0, but a 7.53 ERA. Back on the 17th against Washington, he gave up 6 earned runs. And then Washington again on the 23rd, 2 earned runs. He's coming off of a win against Atlanta back on the 28th where he went 6 innings and gave up 4 earned runs. So got that on the going up against and looking at some of the experience here. Contreras has 27 career at-bats against him, 259 with a 730 OPS. Christian Yelich, 39 career at-bats, 282 with a 762 OPS. Everybody else, I mean, Terang's got 10 career bats and he's hitting 200 against him. Everybody else has probably got about a game or 2 games worth. Andrew Monasterio, actually, 5 career bats is hitting 600 against him. So on the flip side, Jose Quintana, you got quite a few Phillies hitters with a lot of experience going up against Jose Quintana. As we mentioned, looking for his 11th win. He's 10-5 with a 3.69 ERA. He's coming off of a loss against the Diamondbacks back on the 28th, where he pitched 3 2/3, 6 earned runs. So looking for a bounce back victory against the Phillies. And he did go up against the Phillies when the Brewers faced them in the summer in June when they swept them. In that game, June 1st, Quintana went 5 innings, giving up just 2 earned runs, but he did issue 4 walks in that game. Looking at the experience, I mean, Castellanos, 53. You don't see this too. A dude have 50, but get it when you look at Quintana and Castellanos. At bats, 245, 694 OPS. Schwarber, 24 career at bats, 333. Has a dinger against him, 833 OPS. Where we got Turner, 22 career bats, 227, 534 OPS. We've got JT Realmuto, 20 career bats, 250 and a 748 OPS. Harper, 16 career bats, 250, 794 OPS. Kepler, 18 career bats, 333 and an 889 OPS. So Bader, 14 career bats, 357 and an 829 OPS. Bob's got 16 career bats against him, 125 and a 438 OPS. So dudes are very, very, very familiar with Jose Quintana. And you kind of look at these two guys, Aaron Nola and Jose Quintana. So Nola has pitched. How many games has he played so far this season? Nola has played in 12 games. Jose Quintana has played in 21 games. Quintana only has 11 more strikeouts than Aaron Nola. But that's the difference in these two pitchers. Quintana's not a big strikeout pitcher, ground ball pitcher, right? But you just kind of look at that. It's like a 9-game difference between the two. And Nola's only 11 Ks behind him. So hopefully Quintana can keep the ball in the park, get some groundouts, maybe get some pop-ups, and hopefully this Brewers offense can jump on Aaron Nola early, put up a big number, get that cushion. But, I mean, the Brewers did it a couple days ago against the Phillies, right? They put up 3 runs in that first inning. And it was a little bit back and forth and fair. Get that early lead, but hold on to it too. All right, hold on to it. First pitch tonight, 6:40. Coverage is going to begin about 35 minutes prior to first pitch. You can listen to that game on the radio dials 105.1 FM and 790 AM. A couple more picks here as we start to wrap up the first hour. If you're just joining us, a couple Packers questions I threw out there. Give me your top 5 most important Packer players for the overall success of this season. Top 5 most important players. Coaches don't count. Okay. We've got a Jordan Love. We got a Micah Parsons. We've got a Jaden Reed. We've got a Josh Jacobs. And we've got an Edrin Cooper. That is from John. Steve says his bold prediction is Golden winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. We'll wrap up the first hour with Morgs. What up, Morgs?
Countdown on. You got your Packers gear on. You feeling good about Sunday?
It's starting to get a little nervous, which is kind of typical. So,
in terms of sporting kickoff events, is Packers and the first game of the season like the Christmas of the sports world for you?
No.
What is then?
Probably the draft.
Oh,
I love the NFL draft.
That's got more of like the energy and can't sleep at night, getting the sports butterflies things.
Yeah, the start to the season is more of the anxious nerve palms are sweaty.
Don't know where we're going to go
Blood
yet.
pressure is going to be all over the place, sort of
So
thing.
it's a more of a medical incident than
Yeah.
it is an excitement.
I have to take my watch off because it'll say stress is up.
It'll just start smoking and blow up on your wrist.
Yep.
How much do you know about volleyball? Not like bar league volleyball, but actual volleyball.
Oh man, come on now. In high school gym class here, I got traded to a couple different teams because I was so good.
Because you were so good?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to help out
Or did
the
they
other
need
classes.
to unload you?
No, I was good.
Okay, then explain to me this. We're at a volleyball game last night. Why is the sub process so much longer for volleyball than any other sport? How they have to, put their palms together and wait and it gets recorded. Why is that for volleyball?
I don't know.
Because sitting in the stands as parents, it's like, I get it, we see it, but
you know what?
Why?
I know the perfect person to ask this.
Yeah.
I hope they're listening. My old golf coach was also our volleyball coach.
There you go.
So Coach V, if you're listening.
Come on, Coach V, we love you. Chime in.
Yeah.
Because I'm just curious why. It's not one of those things they ever explain to you. And as a parent, you kind of absorb the rules as you go, or them because you played yourself or whatever.
Yep.
But for that one particular sport, because usually in basketball, in, out, off the bench, in the bench, and you sit them on the, but for volleyball, it's the same position. So it's not like they're recording a move.
Yep.
So I don't understand why it's so.
I will let you know if Coach chimes. If he doesn't, I will shoot him a message. Yeah.
I'm just curious for that.
But
so what did you play in volleyball then? What position?
All over.
I'm not talking bar league.
I was diving and spiking. Come on now.
Okay.
I remember one year gym class, okay? Because this was my peak.
All right, everybody sit back for a story.
The day before it was floor hockey. I got hit in the hand.
It
was like one of those.
Hockey.
Yeah. And then I got hit. And I kind of shook it off. So I go and I look, but that was when my thumb fingernails bent all the way
There goes
backward.
your bump, man.
I know. So had to push down. I was put a little cast. I had to go to the doctor, cast it. I played volleyball the next day, though, one-handed because I wanted to win those donuts.
Did you win the donuts?
We won the donuts.
Were they custard-filled Bismarcks?
The honeymooners.
Oh, geez. Do you wish they had official boy volleyball leagues?
Well, they do some club and that.
Some
yeah,
schools?
like I know UW Claire, I think has a club one. But my aunt was a really good volleyball player, and one time we were playing, and I thought I was good, and she said I had to learn to play the proper way.
Yeah, the bump sets. There's a system to it.
I just like diving.
Well, that's bar league. That's why you play on the weekends with your
Or
friends, because
Top Gun.
that's what it looks like.
Jeans and no shirt.
Hey, shirtless beach volleyball. Yeah.
Second hour, kick it off right now on this Wednesday morning. A big thanks for making us a part of your start. It's been a busy first hour already. Thank you to everybody who's been chiming in so far with your top five most important Packer players, that's keyword players, for the overall success of the squad of the team for this season. Obviously, expectations have changed quite a bit, I would say, for a lot of people over the last few days. So, with that in mind, we threw out the question: who is the most, or who are the most important Packers players for the overall success of the squad? If you have not chimed in yet, you can hit us up 715-830-1912 with a quick text, or again, comment on the socials and all that fun stuff. We've got Brewers again back in action tonight after a much needed off day yesterday. Got Jose Quintana on the mound for the Crew. Aaron Nola's going for the Phillies. That lead in the division got a little bit smaller with the Cubs taking down the Braves yesterday or last night. So now you've got the Brewers holding on to a 5-game lead over the Cubs for the division. But again, Cubs hold the tiebreaker, so it's kind of like four-game lead if you factor that in. So again, tonight's first pitch, 6:40. Coverage will begin about 35 minutes prior. We're going to do some stock reports coming up in about an hour. Whose stock is rising? Whose stock is falling? You can make your picks by texting us 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line. So we'll get to that coming up in about an hour, a little past 8 o'clock here this morning. So send those on over if you want to play along. So all right. So I gotta ask, you're the first second, because it happened on Thursday. What was your reaction there, Lucas, as a Vikings fan, to the Micah Parsons trades?
I wasn't too happy about it, obviously.
Right. So you're not one of those who are out there, I call it, going through the grieving process and the bargaining stage, saying, "Yeah, I won't going to do anything. Yeah, it was a smart move."
No, it was good. It was a good move. Yeah,
I love that narrative. I love, especially when Cowboys fans are out there saying, "Oh, yeah, we're going to be better team-wise. Defense, stop it."
I know there's the contrarian thing, and there's a little bit of not Vikings contrarianism, but there's some assorted takes here and there that maybe it's not going to be the best. If there is a contrarian take that I have, and I don't really want to say contrarian, it's more like a not the most positive. It's a thing that I probably would have said right from the start with regard to any team. I'm not sure how healthy he's ultimately going to be. I'm not going to go so far as to say, wow, he's going to miss like whole seasons. Like, no, you don't know any of that. But health has been a bit of an issue.
To be fair, he only missed a few games last year, and that was it.
Yeah.
He's played every single game.
Right. So. Like, it's not he's not an injury magnet.
No.
So... And after that, if he misses anything more, like I said, that could apply to any player in the league. All in all, he is a massive defensive upgrade.
I would ask the 31 other fan bases, or maybe 30 in this case, would you be upset if your team acquired them? Would you be making the same excuses? No, you would not be.
Unless you gave up like 8 first-round draft picks,
and
if you did like a Mike Ditka with the Saints,
you're a complete draft,
right? Yeah, like for
an unproven player at that point too.
Also, yes, for that sort of thing, sure, yeah, then you would be upset. 2 first-round picks, I mean, it's a decent amount, arguably from what I've seen. I'm not sure if you've been seeing this, but the consensus is probably Packers should have given up more.
Oh, yeah.
So
I look at it this way. Trey Lance got 3 first-round picks.
There you go. I know quarterbacks end up bringing in a whole lot because they're quarterbacks. Hence the draft situation of quarterback runs in the top 5 and top 10. All in all, no.
If Brock Purdy never worked out, John Lynch would have been fired.
Yeah, probably.
For giving up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance.
It's not
their butts.
Yeah, it's not their... not a dynasty, but it saved their run of success as one of, they and the Eagles have been the 2 premier teams of the NFC. Packers probably third over the past decade or so, and that elongated that time where we may be recycling out of that now, but it's lasted till very recently, where you consider the 49ers kind of a default. Yeah, they're one of the better teams. We may have to recalibrate that, but yeah, I think.
And the other one too, I would say this: the Jets gave up multiple. Was it 2 or 3 first rounds for Jamal Adams? Or they traded to Seahawks? Gave him, I think it was 2 or 3, I believe. So I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Was it 2 or 3? Let me double check. It was Jamal Adams traded to Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, okay, yeah, Seahawks cut. 2 first-round picks to the Jets for Jamal Adams.
Okay,
and that was a dude that was injuries and stuff. So,
yeah. So I think it's a good one.
I was honestly surprised what they gave up. Like, I thought it would be a whole lot more. You know, the 2 first-rounders. We all knew it was going to be 2 first-rounders. It was like 2 first-rounders. Then what was the question after that? How much more after that?
I don't know why I'm underwhelmed by Kenny Clark being part of that. He's not the player that he was or projected to be. So I was like, oh, they got Kenny Clark. And then the Cowboys were like, we got Kenny Clark. Cool.
And maybe there's an optimism there that, okay, maybe this trade can rekindle that fire from Kenny Clark. You know, sometimes it happens, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to go out there and prove that to my team they made a mistake. Good. That's what you should be doing then.
It's probably going to be one game this season where Kenny Clark has like 3 sacks and Micah Parsons is held to like 2 tackles, and there'll be see? Yep. It'll happen one time.
Exactly. Yep.
Out of 17 games.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Hey, not to completely switch gears, I don't know, but I got this email early at 6:00 from the NFL communications desk, because we have cited this website before, or this account before. I think this is kind of interesting that the NFL would partner with this group. NFL and Front Office Sports announced content partnership.
Interesting.
Now, Front Office Sports, we've cited them many times, is a media news organization covering the businesses of sports. So, according to the quote here, because it's a what do you call press release. Front Office Sports has built a highly engaged community, and the NFL looks to FOS for unique storytelling opportunities and insights into the business of sports. Partnering with Front Office Sports allows us to connect with this targeted audience through a fresh, thoughtful lens, reinforcing our commitment to making the NFL story accessible to all fans who are passionate about our game. Here's my question. Where I get nervous with stuff like this. Does that make Front Office Sports almost handcuffed in what they can report, what they can say, what they can write, what they can produce?
Another media organization that is going to be nothing but positive to the biggest sports entity in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what makes me nervous when I see stuff like this.
Yeah, don't report the negative stuff again. I regularly read Front Office Sports stuff. They are fairly, and I don't mean this in a critical way, they're fairly vanilla in their reporting. They're more kind of laying out, here are all the facts. You usually don't get too much of a take on it. A little bit, like there's a story, and I didn't yet read it, but it was saying like the revised methodology of Nielsen numbers is going to mean the NFL is a big winner out of that. Well, because you can project forward. I mean, that sounds opinionated, but the NFL will end up with higher ratings because of how the changes are going to go involving streaming, et cetera. But usually most of their stories, like I'll sometimes see something that looks critical and I'm like, oh, where are they going with it? And then you actually read it, you're like, well, they're just laying out what's happened. So I guess the question is, would they leave out anything critical of the NFL? If the NFL had a dip in ratings, would they mention that?
Right.
If they did mention that, would they put qualifications on those whereas they wouldn't for the NBA, MLB, etc.? That's the thing to watch. I guess in the NFL's case, so much of the business is positive right now that it's going to be tough to filter that out, because positive or neutral, there isn't really like a, oh my gosh, NFL scandal. None of that right now. There's no guarantee it ever will happen, but if it does, that's where you'd have to watch that. I mean, I'm more concerned about like The Athletic, if that ever were to happen, if made an agreement with the New York Times. That's probably the other preeminent sports media right now, and they can report as critically as they want to on that. There's probably going to be other independent ones that'll pop up here and there as well. I mean, front office sports wasn't that well known until the last year or two.
Right.
So, and they've accelerated pretty fast. They could also decelerate pretty fast too. They could become, if they're just an arm of the NFL, okay, fine, people will move on to something else. So there's reason to be a little concerned, but we'll read and see what they say, and all they have to do really is be critical at the right times, and maybe it'll work out fine.
So just kind of staying on this, because this is kind of your wheelhouse here too. What did you make of the report out there that the NFL criticized the Nielsen measurements? Did you see that?
I kind of did.
Said the league says that Nielsen underestimates game viewership. TV ratings firm says this season will be its most accurate.
That's them. Yeah. I mean, they're trying to boost their numbers.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. I get it. I mean, this kind of goes to all of the conspiracy theories we love to talk about the NFL scheming to dominate every aspect of sports society, and they don't do that, no, but they want to be able to make the most amount of money possible. They're a big, successful business.
Because if they're going to have more, I mean, if that Nielsen rating's higher, that's going to mean, okay, sponsorship dollars are going to be a little bit more expensive if you want to sponsor, right? I mean, that's what's going to come into play. It's all based off money.
You can make more money if you have higher numbers. That's how basic advertising works. Present the numbers. You can say whatever you want to say. I mean, you've seen like here we work on radio stations. We're in the same business. I'm sure there used to be a time when ratings were published more in our local media, both radio and TV. Go back like 10, well, not even 10. I'd say go back 15, 20 years or more, and it used to be more of a regular, like you open the Leader Telegram, here are the new ratings, and then there'd be a story on that. You'd interview the news directors of the TV stations. I know, because my dad would be interviewed about the ratings at TV 13. You'd hear about it with the radio, and they'd talk to the general managers of the radio stations. Now, it's very easy for one of them to go, that number's not true, it's really higher. Problem is, an advertiser will look at those same numbers and go, well, this is the measurement we have. We're going to pay for our advertising on a TV or radio station, whatever platform, based on this. The NFL could say, no, really, if you actually measure it more, we have 2.3 million more viewers of this game. Well, if I'm an advertiser and I have actual dollars, you could, I mean, realistically, you could probably go ahead and pay that much more because you're like, well, the NFL's probably right. But you don't have the actual data to do that, and they base a lot of stuff based on pure data. So I see why the NFL wants that higher. Honestly, I'll bet other leagues are thinking the same thing too. It's more oh boy / laughable because it's the NFL. You think, how much more do you really need? But they're the biggest example of that. Sure, MLS would love to have better data involving Apple TV Plus, stuff like that. Yeah, so. Yeah, it's Nielsen should get it right. They've been working a lot on trying to correct data for ratings measurements of who's watching out of the home, streaming. It's all of that. It's never perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Because how can you tell how many people are sitting in a room watching? There are ways to do it through devices, but then after that, who's all watching? And you don't know.
Right. You don't.
So I understand where they're coming from, but I think it will get.
So is it kind of like referring to their big like watch parties?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I get that, because I feel like football more than any sport is like, hey, let's get a bunch of buddies together and go to somebody's house, and you got like 10 people around one TV watching it. So.
Yes. Take the Super Bowl parties that I've been doing for several years, or that I've been attending for several years. There's always like 11, 12, it depends on, are you counting the kids and that sort of thing of everyone else's kids that come along, but there's 12, 13 people watching one TV. So how do you count that?
Right.
And you have to estimate.
Yep.
There's no way to know who's all walking in and out and upstairs and downstairs and et cetera.
Just need the turn tile at every house.
Yeah.
Ticket.
Yep. Yeah. Like, how do you do that?
Yep. All right. We got to take a quick break. We'll have some more More green and gold talk coming up, plus baseball talk as well. Don't forget stock reports. So whose stock is up, whose stock is down, send those to us. Quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Again, reminder with the football season beginning officially tomorrow, don't forget to get your picks in on our Pro Football Weekly Pick'em Challenge right on our website, sportstalk1051.com. Just click on that Fan Cave tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom, get your picks in before it's too late, and we've got the Survivor Pick'em Challenge too. So really, really testing your pick'em skills. So it's kind of weird, not weird, still doesn't feel like football should actually be starting tomorrow, but here we are. So
Weather does help.
Weather does
now
help.
That it's getting a little bit cooler, that does help.
So get again to our website, sportstalk1051.com, and get those picks. You got your picks in yet, Lucas?
I literally, as you're saying this, typing in my login information at the website.
Nice.
Begin making my Thursday and Friday picks.
Perfect. So yeah, again, scroll all the way down to the bottom. When you click on that Fan Cave tab, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom. If I don't want to see like, oh, I can't, it's not there. It's not, scroll all the way down to the bottom. So if Luke could find it, anybody can find it. So.
Literally, yeah. The bar is very low on this.
All right, let's talk some more green and gold. I'll get back to some more of your texts. I know I got a couple of them to catch up on, so I'll get to those. And I know we got a couple Brewers ones to get to here too, so we'll get back to those. But Packers will be returning to practice today. little bit more of a normal game week and preparation for their opener against the Lions coming up this Sunday. So we'll see if maybe Elton Jenkins returns, if Nate Hobbs can get on the practice field today. Those were the two that did not practice on Monday. So we'll kind of pay attention to that. But let me first ask you, Joseph, I know it's a few days old and people are probably getting tired of it now, but what was your reaction when you first heard the Micah Parsons news?
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think that
No, to be fair, you didn't think it was going to happen.
No doubt. I think most of us didn't think it was going to happen. And you know, the one thing that we talked about last week, Captain, is that this had gotten almost personal between Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons' agent. And so that's where, you know, you started saying maybe there is something here. And it's interesting. You know, Tom Pelissero and a couple of other people have really broken down how this smoke did turn into fire. And it's really interesting when you look at, and I equate it to this. When two people break up, there's a couple of ways to do it. And I always look at chopping down a tree. You can either have little nicks in the tree over a long period of time, or you could take a huge power saw and cut it down quickly. And I think what happened between Dallas and Micah Parsons is little chips over time that again built a fire out of that smoke. And so, no, I was surprised, excited. I know a lot of Packer fans hearkened back to maybe Reggie White, maybe Charles Woodson. And I thought Tom Silverstein wrote a great article today about the difference between Reggie White and Micah Parsons. And he talked about the fact that Reggie White came and you built a team around him. And Micah Parsons, the team is already almost there. This is the cherry on the ice cream sundae. So, you know, again, I think you'd have to be numb and not comfortably numb, but numb to not be excited about this trade and also not being surprised. Now, you and I talked last week about the Packer fans out there that continue to say, well, you know, Goody never does anything big and the Packers never do anything big. And you know, that was the big thing that you and I talked about last week was, you know, what I'm going to hate to see is the fact that Packer fans are going to say, oh, there we go again. The bottom line is, I don't think there's a Packer fan out there. And I heard you guys talk earlier about the naysayers and well, the injuries. Well, this. Well, it was a locker room guy. And, Captain, you hit it on the head. Every franchise would have been excited to get Micah Parsons in their fold. Every franchise. And if you're a Viking fan or a Bear fan or a Cowboy fan or whoever, you're lying if you're saying you wouldn't make that move and you wouldn't be excited. So, yeah, shocked, surprised, excited. And I love what the players are saying about Hafley and how they're going to use him. And I think that's the part that, you know, one of the things I read last week was that, you know, where do you play Micah Parsons? There's some teams that didn't really know how they were going to use him. And I think most of the NFL insiders and most of the people who are in different organizations realize Hafley's a very creative DC. And I think this is a perfect marriage. You've got a lot of young players on this football team. You've got two monster contracts now with Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. Having three does make it difficult. And so you've got a lot of younger guys on younger deals. You made a couple of moves in free agency this year. I think it's the perfect fit. And I think with Hafley, I think with Green Bay, I think with Jordan Love, I think the moves last year that were made, and I thought it was interesting, Packer Hype video comes out yesterday. And I believe it's Ethan Bacon who does those, and just a tremendous job. And the four players that spoke were Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney, Jordan Love, and Micah Parsons. And I think you can build around those four. So super excited. And I think this puts Green Bay from a playoff contender to a Super Bowl contender immediately.
I was chatting a little bit about it yesterday after listening to Goody's presser on Friday when he was talking about the process and such. And I'm like, man, it sure sounds like he's referring to somebody. And I saw it was one of the pieces. Rob Domofsky had a hand in it, and ESPN But Mike McCarthy had a play in this.
Yes, I saw that too.
And I thought, and that's just, like when I first heard Goody talking about, we had relationships with people that were, I'm like, is he talking about McCarthy? And I'm like, there's no way it was McCarthy.
Right.
But then it sounded like it was Mike McCarthy. And
Yeah.
I think that's such a cool little connection there, that because that piece said Goody and McCarthy still have a really good relationship. Because you don't see that. I mean, Goody was one of the guys that fired him.
Yeah.
But to see Mike McCarthy have a play, I thought it was really a really cool nugget.
Yeah,
with that whole thing.
I think I think that's the cool thing about Green Bay.
Mhm.
And I guess when you have a street named after yourself, you do have a little bit of cachet in the marketplace.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I think that is cool. And I think when you read all of again, how the smoke turned into fire, there's a lot of different nuances here. And of course, we talked about the relationship with Jordan Love and Micah Parsons and
Obviously, Rasheed Walker.
Rasheed Walker, also the same agent. I believe the Xavier McKinney deal, same agent. So you hear all these things, then you look at the Mike McCarthy. And I think truly when you look at most of the NFL, and Andrew Brand, who I follow a lot, referred to the strategy or the tactic that Jerry Jones used as hotboxing, where you basically try to get the player alone and eliminate the agent in this deal. And he said it was something that used to be done, but at today's NFL, it's not. I think Jerry Jones kind of bucks the trend a little bit. And I think when you look at most of these clubs right now and most of these players and most of these coaches, it is a fraternity.
Mhm.
And I think the fact that Brian Gutekunst can reach out to Mike McCarthy and say, hey, tell me about Micah Parsons. I think that's very cool. I think Jerry Jones is part of that old NFL where it's a good old boys club and we're going to keep it that way.
Mhm.
And so I think that's why you see kind of this new era of NFL people that are doing things just a little bit differently.
Mhm.
Whether it be sharing secrets or stories or perspectives, if you will, about players with a Mike McCarthy, or calling someone and say, hey, what do you know about this guy? I think the NFL is very collaborative in that, and I think they know what they have. I think Jerry Jones is becoming the outsider to this new NFL.
Mm-hmm. So we in the first hour we were talking about the 5 most important players for the overall success of this team. Jordan Love obviously is like number 1 for everybody at this point, and I think a move like with Micah Parsons does put more on, like, okay, Jordan, here you go, sort of thing. Who else would you put on that list in terms of the overall success of the season is dependent on these players?
Well, I think okay. Well, we're going to say Micah. We're going to say Jordan.
Yep.
Depth chart came out yesterday. Matthew Golden is starting. So I think when you look at this offense and when this offense works best, you've got someone who can stretch the field. And when Christian Watson was not in that lineup, you saw how the defenses would compress the field a little bit because they weren't fearful. So I put Matthew Golden up there. I think he's a key to this. I think Josh Jacobs is a key to this. I think you look at that offensive line, and I'll say that, really Rasheed Walker is a key to this. And you need a healthy Jordan Love this year. I think we've heard all offseason, Matt LaFleur looks at Tucker Kraft as being a very integral part of this offense. Flip it over to the other side, Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah.
Now that Kenny Clark is gone, he's got to step up. Carrington Valentine, another guy that I think needs to step. Edgerrin Cooper. I think it's hard to name just 5, but when you look at a Super Bowl team and you look over the history of Super Bowl teams, there's probably, yes, 3 to 5 blue chip players, but there's probably 2 to 3 red chip players that had a season that they've never had before. And I point back to the last Super Bowl under the Packers. No one expected Tramon Williams to come on like he did. And without James Starks in that playoff run, I don't know if they win that Super Bowl. So Cullen Jenkins, and another guy I think who stepped up that year. So you've got yes, these are the guys we're going to count on. But then you've got 2 or 3 other guys that need to play better. And again, I also equate it to the Badgers NCAA run of several years ago. No one thought that Frank was going to be for what Frank became.
National Player of the Year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No one thought that. You had Nigel Hayes, who was highly recruited. You had Sam Decker. All of a sudden, Frank becomes this guy. So I think it's very similar to football because it is such a team sport. So I probably named 8 or 9 guys there that we're going to be counting on this year as fans. if this team is going to make a Super Bowl run.
So we got the Lions coming to town. Dan Campbell yesterday. I love the quote on the 8th day. The good Lord made Lambeau.
Football purist.
Yep.
How can you not, as a football purist? I don't care if you're a fan of the Vikings, of the Bears. I don't care where you are. Lambeau is a mecca of professional football. Period. End of discussion.
Yep. And I know when the schedule came out, a lot of fans are like, "Oh, Lions right away. Why can't we get them in the winter?" I actually like it right away. You got 2 brand new coordinators coming in. I think is a big unknown with this Lions team. Still a very good team. I mean, there's no question about it. No question. But I mean, this is a heavyweight battle right away for week 1.
It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome to tee this up. You make the big swing to get Micah Parsons. You've got the Lions coming into town. Not to go Lovie Smith or Chicago Bears, but you got to beat the top dog. If you're gonna win the division, you have to beat the reigning champ. And the Lions were the reigning NFC North champs. So why not?
Right.
And again, I was thinking about this on my way over because I know that you're probably going to ask me who am I thinking for this week. If this game's in Detroit, I pick Detroit. Since this game is at Lambeau, and again, it's always hard to pick the first game.
Yeah,
you have no idea what to expect, and so I'm going with Green Bay, and it's not because of the homer in me. It's and maybe it is, maybe it slightly is, but when you hear the other players talk about what the Micah Parsons trade did for them, and you know, I've often talked about this, that sometimes those trades, sometimes when you make a move in business, whatever it is, it solidifies the team you already have. It makes them better without even stepping on the field. And so I think that this team believes in themselves. And I've used this a lot, that sometimes you have to learn how to win and put yourself in that position. And I think by Goody making that swing, he's saying, I believe in you. We are a legit team. This is the last piece of the puzzle. So, again, barring freak injuries, barring those types of things, I think Green Bay wins this game on Sunday.
And I don't want to tip my pick quite yet here, but it's I like the matchup. I
do too.
I like it. I think you got the energy that's going to be just. Are you going to be there?
No,
okay.
No. This one I'm not. I usually now with high school football, because of my responsibilities on Sundays, I usually won't go to a game until after high school football's done.
Okay, because I'm really curious to see to hear about the energy that's going to be in that stadium with everything that's been going on these last few days here. I mean, if I'm Bill Jarts or whoever's in charge of the intro, I go defense first, and Micah Parsons is the last person I introduce.
Absolutely.
Get that everybody hyped up.
Absolutely. And so, and again, real quick, I want to bring Lucas in on this because I want to bring an impartial Packer media guy.
A non-Packer fan.
Who wins this football game?
Green Bay.
Because?
I'm wary of Detroit turning around with their losses last year. I know we've seen plenty of really like special Lambeau moment games that end up overtime. I keep coming back to the quarterback reunion game. I know that's one, and it's a long time ago. I like where the Packers team is right now this season. I think everything will gel. Admittedly, I'm just right now finally making my way through the extensive Bill Barnwell story that recap from last week, which was a reminder of the Khalil Mack game. I'll remember, not to say that Parsons is going to do the same thing to Jared Goff exactly, but I think that defense is going to, even in a short period of time, gel just well enough. Lions are going to be a little worse than they were last year, albeit good. Yeah, I'm making my first pick right now. Packers win.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel somewhat confident in that.
Because, and I wanted to bring you in because the impartial nature of your prognostication.
Because of course Packer fans are going to be like, "Yeah, we're going to smoke the Lions."
Yeah,
but that because you're going to say that because you're a fan, right? So yeah, I definitely I'd like at this point I hadn't thought through what my division picks would be for the year, but at first blush, I think I'm picking the Packers to win the division. Now, I've generally been high on the Packers for years. Like they're one of those default organizations. You always figure they're going to be at the top.
It's a good football team that always competes.
Right.
And so, it's just, and Captain, I won't put you on the spot. I just want to make sure that we got the impartial pick there. But But I think Green Bay wins this game, and I don't think it's close. And by that I mean I don't consider 7 to 10 points close. Okay, I consider 2 to 3 points close. I think this is a 27-20 ball game, 31-23 ball game, somewhere around there. I don't know. Has the spread moved since the Parsons trade? I would imagine so.
Mm-hmm.
What is the spread right now?
Let me bring it up because I'm sure it's changed. I mean, do they still do the 3 points for home?
Yes.
Do they? Okay,
Yes.
I wasn't sure if that was still 3 over there. Let me. Well, while I looked it up, what are your division picks?
So right now, and again, I had to laugh that Good Morning Football.
Oh God, don't get me started on those picks. I saw them yesterday. No. I would just say a Giants were picked as a playoff team.
You want to call a Homer show, man?
Holy cow!
That goes over the top.
No offense, Lucas, but there's one that's a Vikings fan and another that's a Bears fan that are on those hosts. So you can imagine who they picked.
And okay.
Yeah,
so I would not go that far.
Demonstratively picked their teams. So looking at the division right now, and
2.5, by the way.
2.5.
Yep.
Okay, so
Lions would be a half point on a neutral field if I'm doing
so. Lions were favored or would be favored, on a neutral field. Interesting. Not surprising.
Yeah.
Not surprising. Look. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people have picked the Packers to be a wild card team this year because of the Lions. I don't see Minnesota. I don't see McCarthy being a wonderkind out of the box. Okay, I know he looked good last year going into the season. And I don't wish this on anyone, but Aaron Jones lived a charmed season last year. So I'm going to go from bottom up. I'm picking the Bears to be last in the division. I'm then picking the Vikings. I am then going to pick Green Bay. And then I'm going to say Detroit wins the division. I think it's a game. I think it's literally a game difference between those two teams. So I'm right now, until we see this football team on the field, I'm going to pick the team that ended last year as the champion. And again, I agree with both of you guys. I think the coordinator changes. I think it's bigger than most people want to think. But I'm going to go with Detroit. Dan Campbell's a heck of a coach. I'd play for him any day. And so I go Lions, Packers being a wild card. I think they're the number 1 wild card. I think Green Bay is. So this isn't I'm just sneaking into the playoffs kind of a team.
Yep.
I see Green Bay still being probably a 12-win team. Legitimately, I thought they were 10-11. And I think Parsons swings the gate not only one game during the season, but I think he's a playoff changer. But yeah, I think Detroit, Green Bay, followed by Minnesota, Chicago. How about you?
I can't say yet.
Okay.
How about your Super Bowl pick? I'll tell you off the air, but how about your Super Bowl pick?
You know what? I'm going to hold off.
Okay.
On my Super Bowl pick until I see week 1.
Okay. Cheater, but that's fine.
It's just so many things can happen.
That's the other thing that bugs me about these Super Bowl picks. I watched it some more on NFL Network and the amount of repeats every single year.
Yeah, I mean, the easy one.
Chiefs, Eagles.
That's Chiefs,
Eagles. I'm like,
I've had Chiefs, Eagles twice, though.
Yeah, but it's like, come on.
So here's what I would, if put on the spot right now. My Super Bowl pick right now, and I'm not going to go the Homer route. I'm not, because I think Green Bay has a legitimate shot at it. I think I'm going to go Eagles, Bills.
Okay.
So with that, I still think the Bills are an excellent team who, and again, maybe they're the Bills of foregone years where they made it to the Super Bowl but didn't win it. And maybe this team is just going to be an AFC Championship team. But I'm gonna go with Eagles and Bills.
I liked Gerald McCoy's pick. You want to talk about homerism?
What do you say?
Ravens, Buccaneers.
Wow.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird.
Okay.
That's weird.
That's weird. By the way, Captain, I've got to compliment you. That is an awesome Packers shirt.
You like it, right? I just got it.
What's that?
I just got it.
It's first of all, it's the 1919, and that logo,
the correct year.
That it is the correct year.
Everything that says 1921 bugs the crap out of me.
I agree with you. So. And the logo of the Packer guy with the state of Wisconsin and the football, that is my favorite old school Packer logo.
I will be honest, from the angle though, my first thought was 1979. I'm like,
no,
that was not a great year for the Packers.
It was a great year.
Well, I mean, it was a great year.
It was a great year. I believe Mike Butler led them in sacks.
Well, there you go. Mike Butler. Side note, Mike Butler on the 90s Packers.
Mike Butler on the 90s Packers.
Or I'm trying to think, who am I thinking of?
I was like,
who you could take, like, you know how we talked about Lynn Dickey had played with a better team. He could have been like MVP's, Hall of Famer, but he was with.
Well, I'll tell you who. You put Ezra Johnson. You take Ezra Johnson out of those 70s and 80s Packers, and you put him in the 90s Packers. That's an NFL Player of the Year.
Is he your number? Because I know Butler was pretty good at times.
Yep. Ezra Johnson, though, was
he your pick for like the best Packer of that era that could have been a star?
Yeah, Lynn Dickey's an easy one, but I would have said Ezra Johnson would have been a guy. I think Willie Buchanan on better teams did not get the credit that he deserved. I think some of the linebacking core of those years. I think John Anderson. I think a guy like a Brian Noble. I think those kind of guys got really. They were, and especially John Anderson. I mean, the guy was just a football player playing out there with the club arm and the wrap and the broken arm, and again some of those, probably Larry McCarron, another guy. And he did get some credit. And so I would take, but my guy that didn't get the recognition he deserved was Ezra Johnson.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff, boys. Appreciate it.
Hey, you know what? I'm excited, man. It's football season. It I'm going to go Kevin Green on y'all. It is time. I mean, it's just if you are, there's reason to be hope if you're a Viking fan. There's reason to be optimistic.
Best division in football.
It really is, from top to bottom. When I say the Bears are going to be last, I'm seeing a 7-win Bear team.
Yeah.
So
this might be the.
And there's upside with them.
Oh, no doubt.
It's potential.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
This might be the most stressful 18 weeks of my entire life because it's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching and stuff. I'm glad I lost 47 pounds and maybe got a little healthier, so I'm not having a heart attack.
So here's my thing, though, real quick. I coach with a Bears fan and a Vikings fan, and one of our clients and a good friend of the station, Lisa from River Valley Co-op, River Country Co-op. She's a Lions fan. So I have a bet now with all of them. So $40 of booze with each of them. So it's basically whoever wins, there's no point spread. Whoever wins $40 worth of their booze, the winner's choice. Last year was not a good year for me. Last year was not a good year for me.
So does each person have to buy $40?
So it's whoever your matchup is that week.
Oh, that week. Oh, okay.
So
I got that was not.
That was not a good year for me. That was not a good year for me.
Oh, yikes!
Yeah, I owed Lisa 2 bottles. I owed John 1 bottle, and I owed Tom 2 bottles.
Yikes!
It's not a good year for me.
You need to get an endorsement.
You know what? I told my wife we need to get a HELOC just for my bar tabs during the season.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, not good.
All right. Thanks, boss. We got to take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap up the second hour coming up after these quick words. All right, coming up next hour, we'll do some stock reports. So big thanks to everybody who has sent over some stock reports. We've got John, who had said stock riser is probably the same as most as everyone else, and that is Brian Gutekunst getting the Micah Parsons trade done. Stock faller is Jerry Jones. I will let you fill in on the rest. So, yeah, that is. It's been the first stock report since the Parsons deal.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
But I will say, I know this a few days ago when I found out, it was right before football practice. Hudson was downstairs watching the Brewer game. It was towards the end, and Contreras was up, and I started hooting and hollering. So he thought I ruined a walk-off home run.
Oh,
because he came running up and asking, what did Contreras do? And I'm like, no, it's like part. He's like, okay. And he went back downstairs. So
really? His reaction to the Micah Parsons trade was, all right, back to the Brewers game.
He's transitioning right now from baseball to football.
Okay.
So
wow, the rare example of a kid that at least in a momentary moment was,
I will say this,
more into baseball.
For an 8-year-old, it's coming up on the latest episode of the Kid Cave. I can't convince him to change he did a list of top 10 teams right now in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He initially had the Packers at 9 before the Parsons trade. He only moved them up to 8. So
Okay.
I'm like, I got to give you credit. You're holding to he's not falling into the hole. All right, best team in the league. He's arguing with me.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't put Parsons as a top 5 defensive player in the league either. He's arguing with me on that. So I'll give him credit for holding ground on that. So disagree with his picks, but to each their own.
I mean, and again, that Barnwell story, which gets more deep dive-ish than a lot. You can see where this is going to benefit the Packers. You can see where this could actually hurt the Packers defensively, scheme-wise. It's basically the run game is where that could be more of a problem. Passing game, it's almost certainly going to help. But you can see where this can go in reverse as well, and as a result, where it's a net positive.
Yeah.
Ultimately, whereas the initial thought was, well, Super Bowl favorite. I'm sure there are a fair number of people that thought that. That would be probably going too far, but I even say probably. Like, I think it's possible. But there are certain aspects to this of his actual play, his approach, but also how much of that was Micah Parsons in the Dallas defense. Admittedly, good defense, but that scheme versus the Packers/Halfley scheme, all the personnel around, that's going to be different. Let's watch these games play out first.
So let me throw this question out, and I'll throw it out to Packers fans out here. Of these two people, who is under the most pressure this year? Matt LaFleur as the offensive play caller, or Jeff Halfley as the defensive play caller because of the Micah Parsons addition now? Because we're all just assuming this defense and Halfley's so creative, this is going to be great. So does that immediately put more pressure on him than Matt LaFleur as the offensive play caller?
I see where this could be a debate. I'm going to land on Halfley, in part because of some of the minuses you could potentially see. The bigger one that Barnwell was pointing out was the likelihood of being able to make as many turnovers. Xavier McKinney going to go off again? Probably not.
And that's something he that's his main thing is turnovers. That's
now
what
we might see that in a more holistic way. It might be spread out among more players. But the key will be to not have Parsons have whatever could be a liability, i.e. run defense. If he's not that good against the run, if running backs and running quarterbacks, running any personnel behind, with a tight end that goes on a run, we see more of that. Could that be the weak spot? And that's probably, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that's been one of the bigger legit criticisms was, hey, look at when the Packers played the Cowboys. How did Parsons do then? Well, okay, one game, but is that the sort of that?
He also, if you really look at that game, though, he was really effective. It's just Aaron Jones played out of his mind.
Also that.
Just like it's like I think Aaron Jones was probably a little sore after that one.
Side note, what Joe said earlier about Aaron Jones, expect Jordan Mason to ultimately be the number 1 Vikings running back.
Bold prediction?
Somewhat bold prediction. The way I'm seeing it, I'm not sure if it's ultimately going to be that bold.
Okay.
But like his whatever the stat was, like his yards above expectation, whatever that stat was with San Francisco was really good. And with Jones's fumbling, etc., and the
Age,
big factor there. And the Vikings are probably going to run the ball a lot more than they have of late. Their thing for a while was, oh, we're never running the ball. They're going to run the ball to ease McCarthy in. I would not be surprised if Mason is essentially the RB1, to use the modern nomenclature nowadays, towards the end of the year. So okay, that could be a factor in the Packers-Vikings games when those come up. And while, which you said, there's qualifications to this. Does Jordan Mason have a decent game against Micah Parsons? Vikings offensive line, it's not the best, but it's far from the dregs of the worst that we saw back in the 2010s. So that's where it's on Hafley to scheme properly. I have confidence that he will do that. I think there's a little more pressure there. I think the offensive pressure is what you ordinarily would get. Younger players look really good coming in right now, those two receivers, but how will they ultimately play? We'll see.
Yeah, I think obviously the easy answer is like, well, it's both. But because you're right, it's both.
Of course.
But I mean, you add in somebody like Parsons, and you look at the job that Hafley did last year, a lot of time, top 10 in some categories and turnovers. And yes, he had a really good year. But then you add in a Parsons, there is this level of expectation of like, okay, top 2, not 2, sort of thing. I don't know if we have that expectation with the offense as a top 3 offense in the league, but I feel like there's going to be some, not everybody, but some fans like, okay, top 3 defense,
Don't be surprised if the Packers metrically are worse on defense, but maybe overall better.
Maybe pass the eye test a little bit more, because you look at last year, what's everybody's like, well, sacks. They're top 10 in sacks.
Yeah.
But it's like, but they didn't have, really? Like what?
Yeah.
But yeah, they were.
There might that's the upside scenario, I think, with the Packers.
2 in, 1 more to go. We've got some news updates, and we'll be back after those. Third hour kicking off right now on this Wednesday morning. It is a stock reports Wednesday morning. Whose stock is up? Whose stock is down? We're going to get to that here in just a second. Also, we've got Brewers back in action going up against the Phillies. Not often do you see a off day in between. It's like opening day here, where you get an opening day game and then you get the off day. And then you're back at it, but much needed off day here for the Crew. So they'll be back at it tonight. 6:40 is the first pitch. Again, you can listen to it on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Brewers holding on to a 5-game lead in the division after the Cubs picking up a victory last night against the Braves. Reminder, the Braves, the Cubs holding on to that tiebreaker. So it's kind of like a 4-game lead here. It's getting a little tighter. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. It gets bigger and bigger, it feels like here. So
By the W.
Yep.
Same.
We'll get to some baseball talk, but let's do some stock reports. I will purposely not have Goody Packer for the Micah Parsons, because that's pretty much like probably what
It's really
everybody's at.
obvious.
So, but what are your stock risers?
I was actually struggling on a riser, and Gutekunst was very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I could say at policy, the heck of a way to start the era.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to hold on all of that to let's see how this actually plays out, because that could look like a stupid prediction, or it could look like a wildly intelligent prediction. So I'm going to go very, very almost of the moment, but he's putting up good numbers right now, and seeing some fantasy moves on him. And well, the Brewers might face him, Nolan McLean.
Yeah.
The rookie from the Mets. So he's the first Mets pitcher to go 4-0 in his first 4 starts. One to go 5-0 was, or the last to go 4-0, he went 5-0 was, remember Chase Anderson?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That was 11 years ago in Arizona. So Nolan McLean's been talked about. The Mets have had pitching issues this year, shall we say?
Yeah.
And thus far, he's doing quite well. So be ready to potentially see that name if the Brewers hold with what they're doing. I'll get it. I'm jumping at quickly to the stock faller just to rule one out. So you could make a case that the Brewers are now a stock faller based on their overall record, though their Toronto performance pulled me back from doing that.
Yeah.
I could have run with them otherwise. I still think they ultimately get the 1 seed, if not probably the 2. I mean, and I don't know how long it would take till the Mets would come to American Family Field, but it would probably be the NLDS, and you might see Nolan McLean on the mound. Could have a McLean-Mazeroski matchup, which would be, I know you don't want to mess with playoff matchups, but
I'll be honest,
that would be a fun one.
I'm kind of trending into the direction that Miz might be coming out of the bullpen.
Okay.
For the playoffs.
Would not be surprised by that.
I'm kind of leaning towards that now. I mean, can you say Mazeroski's a little bit of a stock faller too?
He started well, and then
you don't hear his name mentioned for rookie. I'm not saying he's awful, but I'm just saying, like, it was amazing start. Hasn't been up to that level. He just set the bar incredibly high.
Right. But in shorter doses, and that's where long relief maybe could, or maybe he's, the Brewers aren't really an opener needy team, but if they needed someone, and if, let's say, Peralta gets injured, something like that.
Right.
Well, Mazeroski pitching an inning or two to start a game, I don't think it's the craziest idea. I mean, if I really thought it through, might be like, well, that's not a good idea. But at first blush, it's like, okay, you could probably handle that and not worry about, oh gosh, how are we going to get 5 innings out of Mazeroski? He's going to blow it in the 2nd or the 4th. Well, you wouldn't have to worry about him as an opener. Or like I said, middle relief, maybe long relief if he's got it. If not, you've got a pretty good relief core. You can pull him pretty fast.
Yep. Yeah. Since we're talking a little bit of the Brewers and such, my stock riser actually is a name that you mentioned. I'm gonna go Freddie Peralta, because I think he's finally getting a little bit more of the attention and the talk out there for the season that he is having. Saw Dan Plesac from MLB Network listed his top starting pitchers right now in Major League Baseball, and Freddie Peralta cracked the top 5. He was the 2nd highest ranked National League guy behind Paul Skeens. So
yeah.
Freddie Peralta is not going to win the Cy Young Award. It's going to still be Paul Skeens, I believe. But I think Freddie Peralta is finally getting a little bit more recognition. In fact, you go to MLB.com, Paul Skeens got 34 first place votes. Sanchez from the Phillies got 1 first place vote. Freddie Peralta was 3rd on that list. He's got the most wins in Major League Baseball right now with a 16-5 record, 2.58 ERA. I mean, that's nothing to shy. That's the 4th best in Major League Baseball. Skeens, Skubal, and Brown are the only ones ahead of him. I've really felt like, and still feel like to an extent, it's flying under the radar for the season that he's been having, but it's starting. I think he's finally starting to get that attention, rightfully so, for how good he has been. The downfall of him is, of course, he does not last long in these games. You get 5, you get 6 innings, you take that.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get 5 heading into the 6.
Yeah.
But he's still having a fantastic year, and if they do trade him this offseason, ching, cha-ching, they're going to get a boatload in return.
This might be a good time to do a turnaround there. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
Jose Quintana's looking at 6 innings going like, really? You do that and pitch well that long?
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
it's kind of true.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, stock faller.
I will say the hype teams this past week.
College
Some-
football?
Well, it's some combination of two of the 3 that I'm mentioning. The Cowboys, Alabama, and Bill Belichick. So the hype organizations.
Yeah.
Maybe Alabama's oddly the
I'm
weakest
surprised
one.
you didn't say Texas in there.
Well, Arch Manning, 4. Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay, yes. And this goes to my theory that you should not bail on anything after 1 week. Again, we're already bracing for Overreaction Monday. This Monday for the NFL, some team. Oh my gosh, the Colts look great. Danny Dimes is back. Okay, we let them play 16 more games first. But this wasn't a good week for the hype. Either the well-established hype teams or people, so that would be the Cowboys and Bill Belichick are the 2 there, or the teams / players where you kind of already have high expectations. Alabama looked, I know they came back, but it didn't look good.
Yeah.
Arch Manning, well, okay, you could spread this out to a lot of other younger quarterbacks. Manning got the most amount of attention. Of course, it was the most high-profile game of the weekend. And he's the most high-profile first-time player in college football right now. Understandably so. We've been waiting for how many years have we been waiting for Arch Manning to play?
Oh gosh.
Doesn't feel like 5 or 6 at this point.
Yeah.
And it's not delayed. It's just we've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay, now he's a freshman. Here he's playing. There is a lot of underwhelming from those that get extra attention. Their stock collectively Their stock collectively fell this past week. Some will bounce back. Again, it would be way too early to be out on Arch Manning right now, for example. With the Cowboys, yeah, I know we'll see what the picks are like, but that's one where I think it's a pretty safe one to say right now that they're falling. But the hype machine ones, gosh, the North Carolina one's maybe the one I'm most worried about, not necessarily from Belichick's point of view, but the environment around that. It was a front office sports story yesterday talking about, so what if they really do perform poorly? Is College Game Day going to go there for the Clemson game? All the sellouts, is that going to hold up? I mean, it was all encapsulated by it wasn't FlightAware, but whatever was the platform that had the Jordan plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know, Jordan was one of the guests at the game.
Randy Moss too.
Yeah,
I mean,
everyone was
Mia
there.
Hamm,
And-
Lawrence Taylor.
And before the game was done, there's Jordan's flight taken off. You could
Yep.
track it. There could have been some other reason too. Let's not presume that Jordan just got sick of it and was gone.
I found it funny that Randy Moss was
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
There's a
The
connection with
Patriot,
the
yeah.
Patriots. I get that.
Where was Brady? Let's go, because where was
Ooh.
Brady?
Back to the Ryan Russillo joke about who's winning, Brady versus Belichick this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, definitely wouldn't be Belichick. So overall, they're collectively down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
The hype.
The hype.
By the way,
The Arch one, I kind of like. I feel bad for Arch in a sense that, one, let's be a little honest. I don't think it was Arch hyping himself up. I think it was media in the last name.
yes,
This was his first road start, and it happened to be at Ohio State. So, did he play great? No, he owned up to it. I think that was a little bit more we and everybody in the media landscape just like this is the next rate quarterback.
Yeah.
So
And then my one qualifier to this too is that the Cowboys industrial complex is still alive and well, to be fair, given that it seemed most everything I saw in the wake of and I say this as a Vikings fan, but I really don't like the Cowboys. I felt bad on behalf of the Packers. You're usually not going to hear that from a Vikings fan because it was all Cowboys talk. Nothing. Most of the ESPN stuff was Jerry Jones, Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. Emails I was getting Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. I'm like, the player caused all this. Yeah. Playing for the Packers now. Could we talk about that? Could be kind of a big deal. Maybe. No. All Cowboys. I understand why, but it was really annoying. I can't imagine I was the only person that noticed that.
I said this on Friday with Brandon. To a little part of me feels bad for Cowboys fans, just because what do you do?
If you're a fan of the team, I mean, it's not your fault. You're a fan of the team. Okay.
I feel bad a little bit, just a skosh. Yeah. And like Brandon said, the thing is like when Jerry goes, is it going to change, or is Stephen Jones going to do the same thing? We don't know. He's there with his dad, but
he might be like the Hal Steinbrenner to George Steinbrenner. He might be different, built a little differently, and actually approaches it in a more efficient way.
Right?
Maybe, or
we don't know. We don't know. I just
Nepo baby thing.
And I hate it when, and it doesn't really bother me because I'm not a Cowboys fan. But it's like even when Brian Schottenheimer was hired as head coach. What was like the thing we kept saying is like, this is a hire. I almost feel like Jerry Jones is trying to prove to everybody he is the smartest man in the room still. Brian Schottenheimer. And who
I have
knows,
to be reminded that he was the coach. That I saw him come up in a story like a couple weeks ago. I was like, yeah, because he's the other. Oh, right. He's the head coach of the Cowboys. I forgot about that.
And I don't know who asked this question to Jerry. And I thought it was a great question. And paraphrase it, but essentially they said, okay, Jerry, you got other players that want to be extended, what do you say to those players who probably deserve extensions, probably deserve big pay raises? How do they go about it if you don't want to talk to their agent? And his response was, ask Dak. Because Dak's the highest paid. I'm like, that's your response to that? Now I know. Shout out Hunter Lepke. He got a contract extension.
Yeah.
Wisconsin kid.
Yeah, there you go.
But, all these other guys are now getting contract extensions. But it's
I'd like the Bland extension right after that.
Yeah, right? I mean,
like,
just...
Yeah, we pay our players.
And the whole...
Okay.
And the whole...
He's a good player, but still.
We're going to be a better team overall. Just stop it. For crying out loud. Okay, you're going all Ewing effect now on this thing. It's just dumb. Don't play us like we're stupid, okay?
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
So, my stock faller, I mean, yeah, that you could go easily with that one. I'm going to go to the college football world a little bit here. Can we get rid of preseason polls? Can we seriously get rid of we get rid of them. We still know who are probably going to be the better teams, right?
Yeah.
I agree with RJ though. Let's wait till maybe October and get our first poll out there. Let's do that. We could
like the college football playoff rankings.
Right, exactly. You take away the rankings from Texas and Ohio State, we know that's still going to be a good big game, right? We know that. But can we seriously take this away? To me, it's dumb. And I don't know if Florida State is going to be good. I think it's ridiculous for people already after 1 week clamoring, yep, see, told you Florida State's going to be really good this year. What if they tank the next couple weeks now? I think preseason polls are just some of the most useless things out there.
Yeah.
At this point, we don't need them. We're smart enough to know what are good games, what are not very good games.
We always want to have something to describe. That's the reason why we ended up with the college football playoff. Before that, the BCS. Before that, the Bowl Coalition. Before that, the Bowl. It was because we wanted to know who's the. It's why analytics have taken over sports, because we want to. It's understandable, but and granted, the preseason poll is one of the oldest examples of this, but it's a quantifiable way to look at that. So when we see Ohio State beat Texas, it's an upset because you can go 3 defeated 1.
Yeah.
How much does that really mean? I don't. Now, how can you quantify that? No. So you look at the number, and that's why we make it a bigger deal. And look, I mean, it's I alone, and any of us would have seen Ohio State playing Texas, and we understand right now the Ohio State University, national champion, all that versus Arch Manning in Texas. We get that.
Yeah.
But when you can put 1 and 3 on there, even at the beginning of the season, it's just much more of a draw.
But and the thing that will, because I feel like this is going to happen, and I get it, but like you put those numbers instantly. It used to be back in the day, okay, is Texas now going to get to the national championship because they lost week 1 against the 3rd-ranked team?
It's easier now in the college.
It is
football
easier
play.
now.
But
back in the day, it was like, okay,
season's over.
Right. And I hated that about college football.
Yeah.
You lose one game, especially like Wisconsin at that point. You lose one game, you're done.
Interesting you're coming from that angle, because that's been the biggest concern about the expanded college football playoff. Shout out Tony Petitti and 28 teams. Here we go.
Jesus.
But
now I don't want that many.
Right.
That's
of course, now that would sync up with a lot of the other sports and college athletics. So if you think about it that way, it kind of makes sense. But one of the bigger concerns is that reduces the importance of the regular season. And so the dreaded Northwestern game that I always talk about with the Badgers, I know the Badgers of you could say, yeah, well, they got a lot of other stuff to work on. Fair enough. That game wouldn't mean as much, because if they can get in as number, let's go with something realistic, 16 teams. Well, if they can get in as number 16, okay, that's all. Now you're in it.
Yeah.
The college game might be different enough that you're probably going to have the higher ranked teams win. Last year wasn't a good example because of the way the seeding was different.
Everybody who had a bye lost.
Right. Yeah. Like, come on. It will make more sense this year when you have the higher ranked ones getting the buys. We'll see how that goes. But like I said, I suspect this is a little bit more NBA-ish, where I think the higher ranked teams are going to do better, as opposed to like baseball, where who knows in a given year. But if you're in, you're in. That reduces the importance of the regular season. The rivalries will still matter, of course. The games are still going to be a bit. It's not like ratings are suddenly going to tank. I could see them plateauing or going down a little bit if you have a much larger one. But you come at it from a different perspective, though. Like, would you? Okay, see if I can flesh this out in full. You're talking about that like one game example. Would you rather not sweat out a bad? Let's say the Badgers get up to being a top 20, top 15 team again, which is possible at some point in the future. Do you care as much about the regular season, or are you mainly focused on get to the top 16? We'll worry about the games at the end of November.
I think you still have to worry about the regular season to get to that top 16, right?
Right, but in terms of like week in, week out, okay, this could be enough that they have a ceiling.
Because I still feel like, okay, you lose a game like, okay, the Northwestern one, you probably don't deserve that. It was always like that one Ohio State game or whoever was really good.
And they would never perform well for that. Right. Like, okay, you're not an elite team.
Because there was a couple times they were 11-1 or something like that. And you're not, because you lost to a very good Ohio State team or something. And that's what always bugged the crap out of me was like, come on, it was 11-1.
Still remember the Michigan State game back in 2004?
Oh yeah.
When it looked like team looked like they were on a mission, and then kaput. Yeah. After that,
college football is weird. It's a different breed, right? I mean, it's I don't know, but
compared to just about any even Division I levels of that's a tough one to recreate.
Yeah. But I would say that Kalen DeBoer is probably stock faller right now, too.
Oh,
he's got to be I mean, come on now.
To not enter the Alabama.
Yeah, I love the talking heads. Can we get Nick Saban out of his contract on game day to go back to Alabama? I mean,
sure. Okay.
But that also goes, because remember the whole process? It was kind of like, who are they going to hire? Is Dabo going to go there and all that? But how many times do we always say, you don't want to be the guy that replaces the legend. You want to be the next guy. But also, Shire seems to be doing well at Duke. So
sometimes it does.
Sometimes North Carolina's not really working right now, I would say, in basketball for Hubie.
No,
for Davis.
He got into a national championship game, but overall,
and he did beat Duke. That was probably their main one.
Yeah,
there.
It has shades of Mike Davis, honestly.
Oh, that's a great example.
Getting the national championship game, but the program overall
Mm-hmm.
declined post. I mean, let's be real. Post Bobby Knight, it did decline.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. Or even Kevin Ollie at UConn.
Larry Coker.
Oh yeah,
That actually
Larry
that's the poster
Coker.
child. Gets a national championship, but that's all the prior the U guys.
I still loved that national championship game though. Ohio State and
That was
Miami.
a pretty good one, yeah. And you're right, and I said it quick, but yeah, Kevin Ollie's actually a really good. That might be one of the better ones in basketball.
There's still that what if Wisconsin would have won a national championship? They would have freaking beat Kentucky because it'd been Wisconsin versus UConn in that game.
I think they probably would have won that one. Yeah.
Darn it. So,
well.
All right, let's take a quick break. I want to talk a little bit more baseball here too. So as we are entering the final weeks of this regular season, we'll take a look at where the playoff races are at currently, coming up in just a couple minutes. Bottom of the hour here, as we only got about 30 minutes left for the program. Are you, by the way, going to be buying a lotto ticket tonight?
No.
Powerball.
I'm not this time. No, I don't honestly. I have myself. I have never bought a lottery ticket. I know my dad
Mhm.
would occasionally, and by occasionally, I mean like, oh, sure, it's $1 billion. Let's go, and we'll like that's sort of thing.
Yeah.
But have you ever bought a lottery
I
ticket?
have, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I think about it, maybe I will. But then it's like, part of me is like, what would I do? Retire, maybe early.
Hmm.
Start my own youth sports league, so can kick out the parents and parent coaches that don't belong coaching kids
Hey,
and
now.
stuff like now. So Luke knows what I'm talking about. I had to vent during the break. So
But we'll
let's make
we'll,
youth sports better. Okay.
We'll get through the season some way somehow. See now,
There's another one right after it. So there you go. It's a never
it
ending.
never ends.
cycle.
See now, I would take the payments because don't you make more money that way?
I think you do. Yeah.
Everybody takes the lump
I
sum.
don't.
I'm like,
I
folks.
don't want to blow it right away. I want to be like paid. I want to be Bobby Bonilla.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I like take the smarter approach. Would you, ultimately, do you need all the money right now? I mean, if you have to make a purchase right now,
Unless you're that much in debt, which is kind of scary. But
that would be a problem. Or let's say I want to buy a sports team.
Yeah.
Um,
well, you still might not be able to afford it.
probably
so-
not actually. No, given where the franchise value is at this point. I mean, heck, I'm not even sure I could get a WNBA team at this point. Even those values are starting to go up.
Mhm.
And that's not a knock on them. Like everything is accelerating right now.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to, like sure, then maybe the lump sum makes sense because I could turn it right over. Otherwise, play it smart, folks.
Yeah.
Do the payment thing. Plus, that's probably wouldn't that be the smarter way to keep the hanger-ons, the family members you haven't heard from,
Yes.
from coming right in? Like, you're worth $1 billion now.
Yeah.
Because you're like, sorry, no. I don't have the money right now. I just got a payment right now. I got to pay some other bills. Sorry. And then time goes on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also never winning the lottery, so none of this is going to matter.
Nothing is going to matter.
No.
But it's like hunting. You're not going to get anything if you don't go out there and sit in the woods.
You got to be in it to win it.
Got to be in it to win it. So maybe that one time, just one time, as Danny O'Shea from the cinematic classic Little Giants tells his Little Giants at halftime. One time.
One time.
Maybe it's just that one time.
Maybe.
Have you seen Little Giants?
Yeah, have I seen it? I'm trying to remember because I've seen some.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids actor.
Yes,
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. That one I've not. That was in that wave of mid-90s, early to mid-90s kids sports movies, some of which I've seen. I did not see Little Giants.
Why don't we make movies like that again?
Because everything has to be bleep and Marvel stuff and
why can't we have
sequels,
classics
IP,
like that?
franchises, content? Come
When-
on.
When was the last good movie of like that genre type of thing?
Now, to be fair, Little Giants is 50% of Rotten Tomatoes. So, I mean,
they don't know what they're talking about.
IMDb's a 6.5 out of 10.
No,
It's not bad.
I mean, come on now. A cinematic classic, for crying out loud.
I mean,
John Madden,
as far as
annexation of Puerto Rico.
I mean, it's probably the cinematic classic for movies that were released on October 14th, 1994. First, now I got to check what came out on October 14th. Probably also some massively successful
Not
movie.
to ruin the plot, but come on now. Little Giants, a team of kids who don't make a tryout for whatever reason. They had tryouts at that young age on the Cowboys team, and the Little Giants beat the Cowboys. So,
Right. So that would be,
come on, everybody.
kind of
Bigger underdog, sports underdog in history. Rocky Balboa or the Little Giants.
And to my point about cinematic classics released on October 14th, 1994. See, I should have been careful about that. Also out that day, Hoop Dreams
solid.
and Pulp Fiction.
That's okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
What when that movie's on TV, what movie are you stopping to watch? It's
Little Giants, obviously.
It's
Come on,
Little
folks.
Giants, man. So, yep. Your daughter's not in school yet, is she?
She starts 4K today.
Oh, so yeah. How
She's
you feeling
gonna-
about that?
Getting on the school bus in a couple
Oh,
hours.
boy.
She's been on the bus before, so this is not a new thing. But yep, it's 4K
I
today.
will tell you, I was a wreck when Hudson started kindergarten. So that drop off, because it was different because his 4K was at his daycare, so there really wasn't a change.
Yeah.
Kindergarten, I was a wreck.
Yeah, see, and then this has been a little back and forth because we lived in Eau Claire a year ago, so she started doing like the Prairie Ridge stuff. So she took the bus there, which was a little bit like, oh my gosh, there she goes. Then we moved to Altoona. There's no bus for the early education center, so I drove her to and from. But now it's school bus for 4K. She lives we live a ways away, but within Altoona. So yeah, maybe it'll be different when she actually gets on, but there's part of me that's like, part of me is like, okay, here we go. Another life accomplishment marked off here. Now, hopefully when she comes home, like it all goes well. That's the thing that probably I'd be more concerned about, but I think it will.
Yeah.
Same building she was at last year, like kind of what you were saying in Hudson's case, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh man. Just my reminder that, if I could do it all again, I think I'd want to be a teacher.
And there'll probably be a lot of teachers that'll be like, are you sure you want to do that? And they love it, but
I want to teach one class.
I know you, but you posted about that the other day.
Gosh.
Is it ever going to happen?
I don't know. Do I need a certificate?
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
This is the one thing I want to know. How do these people become professors for one class or an adjunct professor, whatever the heck it is? How do they qualify for that? I want that.
I think connections probably
Is it just
help.
connections?
Connections and obviously knowledge of the topic where it would make sense. Where
Do I need to start a master class online? Is that the only way to go about it?
the Dan Kasper,
like Gordon Ramsay, Morgan Freeman, and then my name right next to
Dan
those guys?
Kasper.
Yeah,
it's like cameos.
Yeah. I'll pay you to buy one. How about that?
Okay, well, here's what you do. It seems like not a good economic model, but okay, be a substitute teacher. I know the restrictions were loosened, but
that'd be kind of hard with my schedule.
It probably would, but okay, we'll take a vacation, take a vacation week and be up for being a sub in certain classes. And you can, okay, I shouldn't say you can because I'm going back 20 plus years on this. It's probably different now. But you could sometimes specify, I want to be a sub for this. Call me in for this. Or whatever the method is, however you're notified now. Give it a try. See what you think. Because you may come out of that going, oh, yeah, okay, I needed an ed degree. I needed to learn about all of this, what I'm getting into. Or you may love it. I don't know. It depends on the demographics of your class. Do you like younger kids, older kids?
It bugs me when I see colleges are teaching Star Trek courses and all that stuff, and it's like, why can't I do a sports history one?
It's got to be something.
Come on,
keep talking to the university or the tech college, maybe.
Ooh, that'd be one. An elective.
Yes. Huh. You have some CVTC contacts?
Nope.
Work on it. Hey, remember they've even got a mascot now.
The Otters, River Otters, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Work on that. Okay. So, I mean, you could go all out with the River Otter gear and everything. Make it happen.
All right. Let's talk a little baseball. Taking a look at where things stand with just a couple weeks left to go here in a regular season. Few. Oh, that's that whole debate. Well, how much is a couple? 2 or 3? Few, 3 or 4?
Something. I've always said couple is a 2. Anything above that is
few.
Yes.
I've always thought couple was 2 to 3 and few was 4. But I've altered.
Couple is literally 2.
Yep. Few is 3 or 4. So I'm going to say few.
That's way I go to.
All right. So few weeks left of the regular season. These are where things stand currently in the Major League Baseball playoff race, because it's kind of like some playoff races, playoff type baseball at this point. Toronto is holding on to their lead in the AL East, 2.5 games over both the Yankees and the Red Sox. The AL Central, do we say that one's closed? Tigers are up 9 games over Kansas City.
Kind of done.
Houston holding on, 3 games over Seattle, 4.5 over Texas.
Seattle slipping didn't help.
The NL East right now, you've got the Phillies up 5.5 over the Mets. The Central, Brewers 5 up over the Cubbies. The West, the Dodgers are 2.5 up over the Padres. Padres slipping here a little bit too, as of late. Your playoff standings, in terms of wild card and that, Toronto, Detroit, Houston are all division leaders. New York, Boston, Seattle are your wild card teams. The Rangers are 1.5 back. Kansas City is still only 2.5 back, and Tampa is 3.5 back, and Cleveland still just 4 back, so not out of it yet. National League wise, you got the Brewers, you got the Phillies, and you got the Dodgers. Cubs, the top wild card spot. Padres, the second wild card. New York, third. Reds have fallen down quite a bit here. They're 5 back, but look now, the Giants, who are 9-1 in their last 10, are just 5 back from a wild card spot here too.
So the Brewers, if they don't win the division, are probably going to be the 4 seed.
Mhm.
Anything could change, but realistically, that's what's going to happen. So they would probably play some combination. If that were to, again, going worst case scenario, realistic worst case scenario, Mets, Padres. I don't know that the Giants quite get up there, but it's possible. Are you more scared of the Mets or the Padres as a potential 5 seed, depending on how that would shake out?
maybe Padres. I feel like Mets we'd have a little revenge mode on.
Then again, Nolan McLean, short series,
Yeah.
and that in a 2-game series, he'd be one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably.
That's true. I don't know.
But the
I-
Padre relief corps is really good. But then they were good earlier. Will that hold through October?
Yeah. I think the one team overall that I do not want to play in the National League playoffs would be the Cubs.
Yeah.
Which
I think you would be avoidable early on because of their records right now.
Mhm.
After that, who knows how that shakes out? Well, no, you probably would because of the bracketing.
Mhm.
Because the 4-5 winner, let's see, do my math on this. Because doesn't
it is a potential, I thought, though, that we could see Brewers Cubs in a divisional series. The Brewers will run and the Cubs. No.
Okay, so 6-3 plays the 2, 5-4 plays the 1. So,
But isn't it still the top?
what that means is if the Cubs were to get the 1 seed, let's presume that if they got hotter and the Brewers cooled off just a bit,
Yep.
Cubs would be the 1 seed, the Brewers would fall to the 4, and yes, they would be bracketed into each other. It doesn't matter. I still
Mhm.
think reseeding, that's another thing. Reseeding should happen, but that should happen in all sports.
Yeah.
They would play the Cubs in the NLDS.
Mhm.
If that all held as I'm kind of projecting all of this. Who knows? Maybe the Phillies go on a heck of a run. They end up as the 1 seed, the Cubs are the 2 seed, Brewers are the 4, and then you don't have to worry about that.
If we get swept in this Philly series, I am freaking out.
Really?
'Cause, I
Phillies are
mean,
good.
I know, but I'm talking about, like, standings wise.
Yeah. It also depends on how
Especially if the
do.
Cubs, if they win their games against the Braves, and we're talking about maybe a 2-game lead in the division, I'm kinda nervous.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. Just gotta throw that out there, but I'm a little bit nervous.
Because the Cubbies' schedule after this, then they're hosting Tampa Bay, at Pittsburgh, oh boy, at Cincinnati,
Yeah.
oh boy. Then they host the Mets, and then they host the Cardinals. Cubs have a pretty decent schedule going
I
forward.
know, that's why.
Yeah.
And Brewers at the end, they've got the Padres on the road. Who knows what that's gonna be like at that point, whether it's a little wild card position or maybe a division. So, yeah. Reds at the end, that one's kind of maybe changed a little bit considering how the Reds have been played late, but who knows?
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
But Pittsburgh's in there, St. Louis is in there,
Yep.
Angels have fallen off. I mean, it's not the worst. Texas is maybe the question, I guess. Honestly, they're comparable-ish. I was more concerned about the Brewers a few weeks ago, like what their schedule is going to be, and they haven't performed that great, but it hasn't been a nightmare either. And they're 5 up at the beginning of September, pretty decent spot.
Yeah, it is. So let's
Keep the perspective here.
All right. Speaking of which, let's pick some baseball games for today. We're going to take a quick break and we'll wrap up this Wednesday morning with some baseball picks after these few words. All right, time to wrap it up with some picks. We got lots of baseball games to go to, so let's just jump right into it here. We'll start it off. Miami, taking on the Nationals of Washington.
Exciting game there. I'll take Miami.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Miami too. So, how about Mets at the Tigers?
I'll take the Tigers.
The Mets have won the last two against the Tigers, I
Yeah,
think, too. So,
I'll take Detroit.
Detroit. I've been picking Detroit. Some point's gonna work, so I'll go with the Tigers. Texas versus Arizona, but Zach Gallen's on the mound for
I'll
Arizona.
take Texas.
I'll go with the Rangers too. Baltimore at San Diego. Former Brewer Nestor Cortez.
I was walking by the Twins exhibit at the Minnesota State Fair on Friday, right when Cortez was kicked out of the game. It was right after that the Twins started scoring all these runs. Literally because they had the game on the big screen and you could see the CC on there, and he has this look like, what? Like, yep, bye. I don't think he'll be kicked out of this game. We'd hope not. I'm going to go Padres, though.
Yeah, I will go with the Padres, too. So let's do Dodgers, Pittsburgh. Shohei on the mound.
Dodgers.
Let's go Blue Jays and the Reds.
I'll take the Blue Jays.
I'm going to go Blue Jays. We've got the Guardians and the Red Sox.
I'll go Bo Sox.
Red Sox. Mariners, Rays.
I'll go Rays on this.
I'm going to go Seattle. Let's go Angels and Royals.
Kansas City.
I'll go Royals. Atlanta versus Chicago.
Sorry, Cubs.
Ooh. Oh, you're going Cubs. Oh, I thought
I'm sorry. I'm going with the Cubs.
Yeah, I'll go Cubs too, just to play the odds. White Sox, Twins.
Let's see. We got in this one. Zebby is in this.
Yep.
I think the Twins actually. It seems like the White Sox have the Twins number. Then again, a lot of teams have their number, except the Padres. I will take Minnesota.
Go Minnesota too. How about the Athletics and the Cardinals?
Cards.
Yep. I'll go Cards too. Yankees and Astros.
The hotter Yankees of late.
Yeah.
I'll take New York.
I'm going to go with the Yankees. Giants and Rockies if nobody gets ejected.
I'm going to go San Francisco.
I'll go Giants too. And then Brewers, Phillies, Aaron Nola, who has struggled this year, has missed a lot of time due to injury too, versus Jose Quintana, who's looking for a bounce back game.
The struggling pitcher matchup. I'll take Milwaukee.
I'm going to go Brewers too. Bouncing back and getting that W. By the way, Cubs could say it. All they do is just adding former Brewers cast-offs lately. I was talking to somebody about this last night. Aaron Savali's now with the Brewers. And then I didn't realize Joe Ross is now with the Brewers recently. Remember Joe Ross experiment with the Brewers?
Oh, you mean with the Cubs?
With the Cubs. I'm sorry.
Right,
Yeah. Aaron Savali's with the Cubs. Joe Ross is now with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana. All these guys, it's like, really? You just want to be, it's kind of like the Vikings with former Packers here a little bit.
And
bringing in all these guys.
How often did that work? I mean, on the odd occasion it did. Usually no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well,
what do you have to say for yourself, I guess? I was just like, you're right. Because
Milwaukee South now.
I know. And I didn't. I'll be honest. I completely forgot about Joe Ross.
Yeah.
And
I barely remember him at all.
Yep.
As a Brewers
And
anyway.
he's with the Cubs now. So.
Okay. Watch him get some critical hit in Game 2 of the NLDS.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's coming off of a performance against the Mets back on the 25th where he gave up 3 earned runs in 1 inning. So, solid.
That wasn't good.
Nope.
No.
But Aaron Savali. He got what he wanted, I guess.
I guess, and the Brewers kind of did. I know Andrew Vaughn has been colder of late, yeah, but by and large, I think that ended up as a better one for the Brewers.
I kind of still thinking about Pat Murphy's comment a couple days ago about not calling up Reese Hoskins. Let me bring it up here quickly. This was from Adam McCulvey. Here we go. Adam McCulvey, here's how Pat Murphy explained the Brewers' decision to keep Reese Hoskins on rehab assignment for a little longer. Quote, there isn't a target date. We just feel like with our roster the way it is right now, he's a first baseman and a DH. We have both of those positions right now, and we have the opposite-handed, the left-handed hitter for pinch hit situations. So to thread the needle, we still feel like we need a little more time. With Jackson Chirio's health and the youth on the infield, We need a little more time to see how that's all going to fall. The 9th is his last day on rehab assignment. So I do think eventually Reese Hoskins is going to be back on the active roster, but it feels like they're not quite sure how they're going to do it yet either.
Yeah, I don't know.
So eventually I do think Jake Bowers is going to be on his way out. Yes, it's another righty on there, but I think I'd rather have Reese Hoskins on my roster when it comes October time just because of the experience.
Experience, yes.
So,
Have him. That's
Yep.
it's one of the I know they're not a young team, but that is a little concerning of the youth on the team. So Hoskins would at least be a veteran presence around. I could also see him making some mistake at some point, but I think you'd rather have him than not.
I would think so. So, but who knows?
Mhm.
Who knows at this point? But again, 6:40 tonight, first pitch. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior.
By the way, quick question in the wake of the no NFL on Friday next year, like in the first Friday, like, okay, well, this is a new thing. I'm not sure that people were freaking out, but like, come on, it's okay. So of course, Florio, conspiratorial that he is, he's saying this could happen. He doesn't have anything, but he's like, well, what they could do is have a 2 p.m. Central Time kickoff next year.
On Friday?
2 p.m. Friday, so they can still have first week Friday football.
Ooh.
Because they have to be done by the evening. So now, again, this would not be Labor Day weekend, mind you.
Yeah,
this would just be a Friday 2 p.m. streamed game. Does that, before we go, score's going to get bonkers numbers. Is that even a good idea, honestly? Or does the NFL, do we need to own the first Friday of the season? I mean, that seems like, I get Christmas, I get Thanksgiving. Do you need to own that? 2 p.m.?
Now.
Noon on West Coast?
Now, my thing would be, at this time, it doesn't matter. I don't know what Hudson will be doing when he's in high school, if he's going to be playing football or not. But we'll say this. Just from my perspective, a 2 p.m. Friday Packer game, I might not mind it because I'll be done with work, but I could also do an event with it.
That's true. So
I'm looking at it from that perspective. I have my weekend after that.
That's true. So in your case, it would be okay.
And I know I'll be in the minority on that. So,
yeah.
And I guess I'll carry that flag because,
yeah,
for my schedule purposes,
yeah,
it would be awesome. It's kind of like a lot of us. Like, I love the 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning Sunday.
Right. Because it happens to be better for our schedules.
I hate night games.
Sunday night football is the worst.
Monday night football is right there. Yeah,
because you have to be up at 6 a.m. and be lucid and talking about what happened.
Not up at 6 a.m. Ready to
go.
Well,
that's
6.
the thing. You have to be ready at 6 with everything before that.
Yes.
Too. So yeah. And mind you, again, we're just throwing that. There's no indication there's going to, maybe the NFL literally is like, we'll go back to Friday when we can. Mm-hmm. We can't right now.
Yep.
I think that really that's probably the smarter move.
Yeah. Man, because I keep forgetting we do have Friday this week.
Plus it's a foreign game too. I mean,
and I keep because I was actually talking to somebody else about it. Like a year ago this Friday. Yeah. Packers Eagles watching it Friday night.
I do remember that one.
And okay, I got the whole weekend, but then the Jordan Love injury. So you're sitting on the whole weekend waiting for news and updates and how is he walking down the stairs of the plane?
Yeah, I remember that.
So
good times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's bring back noon games. More noon games.
I like noon games. I grew up with. I'm okay with that.
College, I wanted primetime games. Why? Because I could go out, hang out with the guys, with my buddies, maybe catch a little Z's and not have to go to that one class or something like that. And it was just a reason to party. Okay.
That's
Football
college.
Parties,
Come on, let's be real.
It was a reason to party. And not like we needed a reason, but it was a good one. And
it was.
Yep. And now it's like, no, give me my noons. Give me my noon games.
You're older now.
Give me my noon games. I don't want to deal with the late stuff anymore. So, yeah, I need my Z's.
See, that's where the prudes like me were always in on that. Noon game because it didn't matter for me or whatever. And we're like, still that is
everything. Everything changes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, your changes.
It does.
So, yeah. Yep. I love my noon games.
So you're not like an Ohio State fan that the crime against humanity of Ohio State being scheduled for an 11 a.m. football game? The horror.
Really quick text. Josh says, discuss, but is Reese Hoskins an offseason trade candidate with only 1 year remaining in the emergence of Vaughn on a cheap deal, 2 more seasons? This would also free up third highest salary on the team. Well, I double checked it. Reese Hoskins, there's actually a mutual option. So, I mean, there would have to be a mutual option between both of them. And it's just a $4 million buyout with an $18 million salary. I would think the Brewers are going to do the $4 million buyout
Probably.
with that. So,
I will be really surprised, and I think most people would be really surprised if he's back.
yeah. So it's a mutual one. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2027, but with that lowish buyout, yeah.
Oh, by the way, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it was a player option this past year that he picked up. So
Quickly, I thought this through because season starts. I said Packers win the
oh
division.
yeah. Really quick, you're yep. We got a minute, so go through your playoffs.
Division champions will be Philadelphia, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Detroit, Atlanta, Arizona. Wild cards: AFC, Buffalo, Baltimore, Houston, Denver, Cincy, KC, Jacksonville as your wild cards. I have Baltimore beating Buffalo in the AFC Championship, Green Bay over the Niners, and
We get Green Bay, Buffalo,
Green Bay, Baltimore.
or Green Bay, Baltimore. Excuse me. Okay. Yep.
Lamar finally does it.
Oh, so Jair gets his Super Bowl.
Yes, he does. That's the win one
Okay.
for Alexander.
Win one for Jair if he even plays.
And you know my picks will be way wrong, so don't take that to them.
All right. Did Peter Schrager make his picks yet? Because then that's when you have to go and go to the.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
All right. DP Dancer up next. Have a fantastic Wednesday. Same place, same time tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Talk to you then.